Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Traction YouTube channel for another live stream. I've been on holiday for over a week, so you didn't see a stream last week, but we're back, and there's plenty of exciting new stuff to test today because Assetto Corsa EVO, or EVO, or whatever you want to say, version 0.3 released earlier this week in a sort of public open beta that you have to sign up for, but it's very, very quick and easy to do so. And if you sign up for that beta, you get version 0.3 of Assetto Corsa EVO on PC, which means you can actually, for the first time, race other people online, which is very, very exciting indeed. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit, because I think it's quite loud. But how is everyone getting on? Let me know where you're watching from. We've already got Thierry in the chat. Welcome back, Thierry. Good to see you again. Hope you had a good week last week. Pierre's here as well. Hi, Pierre. How are you getting on? We're in open mode at the moment on Assetto Corsa EVO, so in career I haven't even started it yet. I'm kind of waiting for more updates to happen before I actually commit any time and effort into the career mode, because at the moment the career mode essentially just gives you driving academy. It allows you to build up credits and levels and buy cars, but I think if there's a proper career mode that's going to be integrated in this game in the future, I kind of want to start then, so I'm deliberately avoiding progressing too much in career mode and just using open mode for the time being, which obviously works very well for multiplayer. Hey Kronos, welcome. Rolonzo as well from Stuttgart, awesome. How are you getting on? White Dragon Racing's here too. Hey guys. Hope you're all doing well. We did a video on this earlier this week, which was, we basically only had a very short time. It was a bank holiday in the UK, but we jumped on Monday, did a little filming session. I was on holiday before then and on the Tuesday as well, and we kind of tested out the multiplayer, but at that point it wasn't open to the public yet, so it was just myself and Tom that were basically battling each other to try and test the netcode and stuff. This will be my very first attempt at actual online racing with multiple people. You guys can join in as well, of course. I'm just going to be joining the open public lobbies on Assetto Corsa, but if you're obviously just here to watch and enjoy and see what it's like from the outside, then that's awesome, and hopefully you enjoy it. So let's have some fun. Thierry, it didn't just release, no, it's still in early access, and it still feels pretty early in the early access phase despite everything. But the version 0.3 did just release, so online multiplayer just released on EVO, but the game itself didn't. So, yeah. And Rusty Dog makes a very good point. The AI is very bad. It's been, I've talked about it before, in all the AC EVO streams I've done, I've revisited AI racing, and I'm sure we'll do it again today, just in case it's better at some point. But, they have said there's AI improvements, but they said that last time, and I didn't really see many, so we'll have to wait and see if that's actually the case this time. But it's still early days, of course. Should we get into a race, and then we can continue the chat? I see that Taurus Blood Gaming refunded it as well, so like, yeah, it's... I don't know, Taurus. I found some errors with it when I was first loading up the 0.3 on Monday before it became public, but the developers got in touch, or I asked them for some assistance, and they were very good. They gave me a fix for the issues. So buggy, it still feels pretty buggy, yes, but I guess that's what we're going to find out with the stream, is just how much, how the performance is, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going into this, honestly. Obviously, I have built up an existing opinion of EVO at this stage and these early stages, and it's been one that's got lots of potential and there's very good moments, marred with a lot of frustration at things that just aren't ready yet or feel like they're a long way off. So I'm going into this neutral from a, trying multiplayer for the first time. If it's great, I will be delighted and I will tell you that it's great. If I'm finding it poor in any way, I will tell you that too. So there's no like prejudgment here is what I'm trying to say. Even if I found something really bad before, if it's great now, I'm going to tell you it's great. But obviously, as it's difficult sometimes in the world of YouTube when you're making videos month in, month out on the same games. You're obviously forming backbone opinions on something, so you have to really focus to try and remain, unbiased and just start from zero each time, if that makes sense. But yeah. Right, I'm going to jump into some sessions and we'll continue to read all the chat. There have been some physics updates, Kronos, and some force feedback updates, although to be honest, my impressions of those so far is that it's actually made things a little worse in some ways. I've not really spent a huge amount of time on it, but the cars I've jumped into, I've had to play around with a lot of settings and I haven't quite found the sweet spot. I'm seeing already, we've got a Caterham Club race at Donington with 15 people. Let's just jump straight into that. Oh, it's full. Okay. 14 people here. What's this? Cayman GT4 at Suzuka? They're already in the race, though. We basically want to join a session during practice or qualifying. So let's try and find one. This is qualifying. Dallara around Imola. Yeah, we could do that. Let's jump in the Dallara first, then. We'll do a race around Imola. I'm obviously not going to be... we'll go the fastest model as well, just to give us a chance. I'm not going to be up to speed with every combo specifically, but that's the point. We're just jumping in. It's open public lobbies. We're just going to have some fun. And see where we're at. Right. Qualifying for Imola. 10 people. Let's do that. That'll be fun. I want to try some different cars, different tracks throughout the stream. Yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, if you've played online yet in this, if you've got version 0.3. I want to hear from you. Right, we've got 4 minutes left to qualifying. We better just get out there and set some lap times. And I'll talk about force feedback and things like that as we're driving. Because, yeah, it's just a bit... I don't know what the word is, but I haven't found the sweet spot yet. And I've found with different cars, the sweetest spot is at a different place. With, like, the dynamic damping and things like that. So right now I'm actually running dynamic damping, I think at, like, 0 or something. Very, very low. Just because with some cars that seems to be best. Other cars 100% felt better, so I'm really unsure at this stage. Okay, I should probably get some form of mirror activated. What buttons have I got here that I can work with? You may have also noticed I'm using a different wheel to the Mercedes F1 wheel that I've been using a lot of late, just because in the Assetto Corsa EVO, with all the road cars, there's a much bigger spread of vehicles, and this is a more all-round wheel. It's a D-shaped wheel, whereas the Formula-style wheel just isn't suited to the kind of road cars. This guy might be on a lap, so we're going to back out of that one. The car instantly feels pretty comfortable, though. I actually think the force feedback on this Delara, which I will show you the settings I have in a second, feel pretty good. So I think we're instantly going to be able to jump into a race here and just fiddle around and see where we end up. But what I do want to do is get a mirror and stuff so that I'm not accidentally causing issues for other people. We do have a radar, so I can see there's someone behind me now. But let me just change some buttons. So I think if I set... Let me think about this. That's my change camera button. So instead I'm going to set that to look left and look right. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's just jump into the settings from the pit lane. The graphics are interesting as well, because I found I had an issue with some of the elements of the graphics when I did the video on Monday, where that was the biggest issue actually, was I was getting this massive stuttering issues, and it's because I had dynamic, what's it called? They're basically like a dynamic vertical sync. So, vertical sync? Virtual sync? What am I talking about? There's a setting, VSync, yeah, vertical sync, and there's a dynamic option, but having that set to dynamic was causing me massive stuttering issues, so we've reported that, and hopefully they've solved that issue. But if you are having the same issue where you're driving on circuit and then occasionally or sporadically it'll just suddenly go to like 3 or 4 frames per second and go very juddery, turn off dynamic vertical sync, because that helped me, so it might be worth a go for you. I'm running a medium graphics preset, but I have noticed, like, just setting this wheel up today for 10 minutes, I was getting poor frame rates. I wasn't quite hitting 60. And that's when I'm on my own, driving in single player as well, which isn't great, I'll be honest. But it seemed fine there, so maybe it was a specific session, I'm not sure. Let me just set some new bindings here. We don't need a camera change button there, we can do that one there. I'm going to turn off the light button because we'll make it automatic, and then I will set some left and right buttons, so... Apologies, this isn't very interesting viewing. Let's see, camera... Do we have look left and look right? It's all still, the camera stuff's all still kind of a bit early access. Let's say it's quite a lot of different buttons you have to work through to get the ones you want. And make sure we change our pit lane speed limiter as well. Okay. In fact, let me just do a look behind as well, in case the look... I don't know, does the look left... I can't remember, does look left and look right combined on this game make you look behind? Because some games it does that. Welcome everyone, I'm seeing some more familiar names in there as well. Welcome Ravs. What's the equivalent of cycling the MFD and EVO? I actually don't know. I can't drive, so I can't test this. Can I look left and look right? No. Oh well. We're going to fire into the race and find out then. Let's just take off the... oh, it's also confusing, but it makes sense. You can assign different buttons to different inputs, let's say. So you've got a keyboard and mouse one, you've got a gear one, you've got a steering wheel one, so that's good. You can at least do that. Did I set one for looking back? No, I'm going to do that instead of the camera, drivable camera, which is a setting near the top. I'm just trying to remember where everything is. There it is. So we're going to clear that one. I'm going to save this preset, because now you can save presets, which is great. I can't remember if this was added previously or if this is new, but either way, I'm using it today, which is great. So we've got our Valo preset. And we should be basically be going straight into our first race here. Yeah, at the moment I'm using a mouse to cycle the MFD because I don't have enough buttons on my wheel basically to get all the things I want to do. Instead I've got, you know, traction control and brake bias and all of these sorts of things assigned. So I've not actually played around with assigning the right buttons for MFD, but you can assign like a joystick button as you're up, down, left, right. You can assign select buttons. There's page buttons as well. So if you want to, and you've got, say, a button box, you can do whatever you want. And I usually like having MFD cycling buttons on there for like the electronics and stuff like that, to be able to do pit stop information, to be able to see relative timers. But at the moment, I'm just using, as I say, a mouse or a trackpad to select things I need to select. Yeah, the Dallara feels good, Rusty Dog. I think it does. Of the new cars I've driven, it feels the most refined so far in a small amount of testing. I think the force feedback settings that I've got right now, which I could show you briefly in controls actually, without needing to be on track. I've just trying so basically the enhancements I've set all to 50 because they're by default at 0. And then I've gone 75 and then 0 for everything else. But the dynamic damping I found, as I said in the video, if you watched that on Monday, I actually found another car suited 100 dynamic damping. Some cars suit somewhere in the middle. I think the sweet spot will be somewhere in the middle. But for this car, it feels good on 0, so we're going to stick with that right now. I'm not usually a fan of damping. I like to have like the full kind of clean signal. But damping can mean so many different things as well. So it's not quite as straightforward as just whether you like damping or not. But I tend to like a kind of raw signal coming through. 20 seconds left to qualifying. We're going to be somewhere at the back of the field, but we'll just try and get around a clean run and go from there, really. Yeah, GT7 online can be a bit crazy, Thierry. The update is... Is it live yet? It's live for people that have signed up, so I should give you these instructions, actually, as we wait to get into this race. If you go on the Assetto Corsa EVO website and you go to the news tab, you should be able to sign up to their email newsletter. If you sign up to their email newsletter, you will get an email through, don't know when, maybe instantly, maybe not. An email will come through with instructions on how you can get involved in this open free beta. And it's simply a case of entering a code into Steam. It gives you the instructions, and then you can take part in this as well. So the update is technically live, but it's not live for everyone yet. You have to go through that process. If you don't go through that process, it's going to be rolled out for those people in a little while once the update is stable, let's say. The plan was for that to be around about a week, maybe less, but obviously if it's not proving stable, and I don't know the answer to that yet, if it's not proving stable, then they're going to delay that slightly. So if you want to have a go, I would recommend signing up to the email newsletter. Hey Lewis, how's it going? I'm still to watch the start of the rally. So it's gonna be an evening job for me. Right, let me get used to my buttons. So we can look left, look right. Okay, left and right together does make you look behind, so that's good. Oh, there you go. Renders has given you an even easier route through the Discord channel. All of the PC specs for my PC that I'm running are in the description of this live stream, by the way, if you want to go check that out. Oh. Someone's jumped the start. First start, we're not doing a clutch start or anything. We're just changing to first when it's green, and instantly we've had contact. So that's my first online race on AC EVO. I'd say that took less than 1 second to have contact. Right, let's just take it nice and easy, because as I say, I've done half a lap. But so far the cars are moving okay. There's a little bit of unnatural movement, a bit of floatiness. As you can see there, that's a bit Gran Turismo 7-esque. I've got 54, 60 ping, so it's not too bad. Let's just try and make our way through. We'll let everyone else make mistakes, and then we'll try and settle into the rhythm. You've got a relative lap timer bottom left, which actually you guys can't see, because last time I played this game and streamed with it, that HUD wasn't there, so it's actually hidden for you right now. I'll maybe move my face cam up after this race so you can see it, but I'll give you a little preview of it now. So where my face was, bottom left, you can see I've got a HUD there, and it shows the gaps to the cars in front and behind. It also shows who's got a penalty, what position I'm in. See, I think I had a slightly strange force feedback moment there, heading through Acqua Minerale. It was just over the curbs and stuff. It was like I would say the reaction speed of the feedback was a little bit unnatural, and I think that's maybe because I'm on 0% dynamic damping. So if I turn that up a little bit to 20 or 30% after this, I'll compare it and see if it feels any better, but it's just a really, really difficult sweet spot to find right now with that setting. There's also, of course, plenty of force feedback settings I can play around with within the SimuCube software, for example, but that's going to take a lot of fettling. I'm running the kind of recommended original AC EVO settings at the moment on the SimuCube software. Right, we're going to make a move for fourth. Good battle for P2 up ahead, so let's see if we can catch that. See if I can find my pace and find a rhythm. I've not touched any of the assists either. It should be default for this car. Ooh. Oh. Hello. Good overtake. Can we? Oh no. Oh. Yeah. That's one way to do it. Oh, spinner for P2. Get the power on early. We're miles behind P1, so P1 is absolutely checked out. They're fast. We've got 7 minutes 12 to go in this race. Side by side. I'm going to brake early. I've got the move done though. They've backed out. So you can see, yeah, the movements aren't like an LMU at the moment. They aren't like an iRacing. Obviously, iRacing's got certain issues with contact. Oh no. That's terrible. Try and safely rejoin. Bit of chaos behind. That wasn't my intention into Acqua Minerale. I just wasn't concentrating hard enough. Oh, struggling with some of these downshifts. Not quite getting them. The radar is very, very helpful. But yes, what I was trying to say, the movements so far for me, and it could be ping related, but obviously it's always ping related, right? No matter what game you're playing. They don't look as natural the way the car moves as an LMU or an iRacing would when there's not a kind of netcode issue on iRacing at least. It's more of like a... Oh wow, that snapped so easily. Let's try and safely rejoin. Ish. There's more of a floatiness, and I think with some cars it seems a little bit better than others. It's a bit similar to what me and Tom found when we did our running, you know, before. When my ping was high, it was a little bit, let's say, unnatural or simplified. That's maybe a good way to describe it. Whereas when the ping was low, it was fine. So here, this car looked pretty good. Seems pretty natural. Go around the outside. We can run pretty close without making contact. That was decent. Just gonna let him go past again. Oh, this car is very quick to snap. I have noticed that as well since the update. I've been spinning more. I was definitely spinning more on Monday, and I've been spinning more in this race than I would normally like to do in a race, even when I'm underprepared. So the car's a bit of a snappy beast, let's say. And that also, I do feel like that relates a little bit to the force feedback, because as I was saying, there's a kind of unnatural feeling at the moment with how the feedback reacts when you hit a bump or a curb a certain way. It snaps very, very quickly. but there's such a complex relationship between the physics and the force feedback, so it's a bit difficult to really pinpoint at any one moment over a short space of time what is the issue or what it's coming from, whether it's a force feedback thing or whether it's a physics thing or whether it's a driving thing. Alright, we'll focus in. I'll try and concentrate on the driving a little bit, and we'll try and catch up with these cars in front, because we're down to P6 after a couple of spins. Oh, hey John, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Ooh, that. So there's a bump there, which loosens the car, and then it was the snap that came after that. There was a huge surge of force feedback, which flicked it the other way. Now, I do think that is related to dynamic damping. I think because I've got it set to 0, and I've noticed this on other cars as well, it's super, super sensitive. So when you have that kind of moment, it's very, very quick to snap, and that's what we saw there. Interesting. So we will play around with that a little bit after this race, of course. The whole point of this is we're doing lots of different races, and we're just going to jump into things and see how it feels. Thierry's gutted. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping in the Caterham. I think that's another car that's pretty... Yeah, under braking, that's where it starts snapping. The Caterham seems like a lot of fun, but also, from what I've done, the few laps I've done so far, it's also pretty... You have to drive it with a lot of respect, let's say. Once you get a slide in the Dallara, it's pretty hard to catch, but it's not really the car that's designed for sliding, is it? You've got the wings, you've got a bit of downforce, so I think you've obviously... if you're driving this car in real life, you're going to treat it with a bit of respect and try and drive it a bit more like a sensible race car rather than a road car that you're throwing around. And if you start respecting the cars, they'll obviously be a bit kinder to you, but there's still a balance there to be struck, where a car should be tricky, but not, you shouldn't be feeling some big surges through the steering wheel that make it almost feel impossible to control, obviously depending on the moment you have. It's that fast downhill right-hander that we've been struggling with so far, so we'll see on this lap whether we can navigate that a little bit smoother. Miss my apex there. Seeing some other cars again, a couple of minutes to go. I will be doing it at some point. But yeah, that's the bump. Whoa. We've got ABS too, a little bit, which I should maybe be using more. Yeah, I will be doing it again. I was going to do it this year. I was hoping to do it this year, but our car's not ready yet. So we'll be heading back to doing it at some point. Hopefully next year with a competitive single-seater, which is going to be great fun. But it's still in build at the moment, so I'm sure you will see when we're back out on circuit. I'll be posting videos and pictures and stuff. Ooh, yeah, snap on the way in, boom. So I actually tried to be a little more brave and aggressive on the brakes and heading into that corner, and it's just very, very, very easy to snap. I feel like you have to give this more respect than beforehand. So before this update, the physics and force feedback update, it was a little easier. It was a little bit more forgiving, let's say. Whereas now, as you can see, everything's just that little bit more difficult. So it's going to take some getting used to. I don't mind the getting used to part. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it depends on the car you're driving. It depends on whether you've got blip on or your heel and toe and all these sorts of things. But generally speaking, yes. If you're driving it too aggressively, it's gonna bite you with a car like this, especially if you're attacking the braking zones and stuff. But there's under braking, there's some big kind of let's say wobbles happening in the force feedback. So when you hit the brakes, you get a big left to right surge as soon as the car gets slightly unsettled, so it maybe looks like you're almost like shuffling the car and moving it around, getting the weight moving, which obviously completely destabilizes it, but actually it's not. That's not an intentional thing at all. That's just what's happening through the steering wheel. So there, for example, you're having to kind of wrestle it to keep the steering straight a bit more than you normally would expect. And then there, as soon as I turn in a little bit aggressively, it bites. So there's there's a very, very low tolerance for aggressive driving, which is going to be good fun to get used to. But when you spend a lot of time with road cars and AC EVO chucking it in and throwing it around, it's a big transformation in the way you've got to drive. Alright, that's the race over, I think. Oh no, white lap. White flag, sorry. I think we still get one more lap. Ooh. Try and see how the movements are here. The radar seems to work pretty well. Try and run side by side for a little bit. Delaris sounds great as well. One of the other things they improved with version 0.3 was the audio. It's a lot more immersive now. I say it's a lot more immersive. They focused on the immersion, and I think it has improved quite a lot. Like, you really notice just the quality of the sound and the crisp gear changes and all these things. The Dalara's a new car, so you can't make a direct comparison to how the Dalara sounded before. Yeah, exactly, Thierry. You've got to really ease this thing into the corners. You can't throw on the lock. I've never driven the Dalara Stradale, surprise, surprise, in real life, so I don't know how that compares, but I've got a lot of reference points for other cars, so that should be good. Like the Caterham, for instance, I've driven a few different cars that are very similar to a Caterham, so I've competed in a Westfield, I've driven a Tiger as well, which is like a sort of kit car version, different engines on different tyres, slicks and road tyres, all sorts of stuff, so I'll have a good point of reference for the Caterham at least, in terms of how it should be feeling, or you know, close enough to how it might feel, let's say. The Westfield I drove was a massive handful. It should be tricky, but absolutely manageable at the same time. You can throw it around, you can get very sideways, it's, you know, quick to snap, but you can do all of that at high pace without losing it. So let's see what the Caterham's going to be like. Apparently we won that race, which is interesting. That don't think that's right. Is that a glitch? I don't know. It says we've won. Please return to the pits. Alright. So we can return to the pits by stopping the car. There you go. And there we go. Third place. I mean, not that it's relevant. I spun out about 4 times. Let's see what's next then. Let's try something else. So I had a few little battles there. None of them lasted for too long. There was a few cars wobbling around a little bit, a few cars going a bit crazy, but there was also some reasonable side-by-side running that was fine. So I think it sits somewhere in the middle. Let's say first impression wise, sits somewhere in the middle for netcode and for online racing and how well you can actually race other people. We haven't had contact yet, so that's going to be something. We've only done that with Tom in the practice session. Let's find another server. That one says 0 out of 25, but I'm pretty sure it's maximum of 16, so I have no idea what's going on there. This server is in a race. We can't do that. Practice Caterham at Donington, 7 people. Let's do that one. Caterham at Donington. And we'll have a little think about how the car handles. So if you go on the John Munro Racing YouTube channel, you'll see onboards. My most recent videos should be lots of onboards from driving a Westfield in sprints last season. And that is what I'm using as a base reference for this. Now, the tyres will be different. I think this one might be on slicks. It's a Caterham Academy car. I need to check that. But I've also driven a car like this on slick tyres as well. It looks like it is on slicks. 2 minutes of practice to go and then we're into qualifying, so let's see what happens. Oh yeah, the 24-player lobby worked and then froze. Oh dear. change your pit limiter button. Right, Caterham, I'm actually going to start on 0% dynamic damping, and once I've done a few laps, and probably lost it a few times, I'll change it and see what difference it makes, because I really want to try and analyse that a little bit. So, you can feel the car sliding underneath you straight away. It does say we're on road tyres, not slicks, so that's even more relevant for the Westfield I was driving. So far so good, but we haven't really put it through any testing corners yet. Testing braking zones. The weight doesn't really shift forward in this car that I would say I'm used to with a car like this. When you hit the brakes, you do get the nose diving, but of course that comes down to setup as well. And for sprints and hill climbs, the cars tend to be set up quite soft because it's a lot of slow speed, tight corners, and you kind of want a bit of body roll and a bit more movement than you might want in a big open circuit. So big racetracks tend to have cars set up much more stiff. Is it the GP or the National? It's the National. Yeah, so that one's a bit more catchable. The main thing is you really want to be able to feel this. So in real life, when you start losing the rear of the car and it starts sliding, you feel it all the way through. And with a car like this, they're designed in a way where they do bite and they do kind of snap and the rear comes around on you, but they're very catchable and you can just throw them around. And that's what you would see if you watch the onboards. You can really comfortably slide them out of corners, accelerate, use the power, all these sorts of things. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that kind of fun and dynamic experience where it's on the edge, but it should be, on the most part, fairly savable as well. There's a bit of understeer on the way into the corners, and then it grips up. That's fine. Hey, Finecross, welcome. I've seen... Oh, nice. Thank you for giving people assistance as well and getting set up with this open beta. But welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. Will we get our first? We should get our first lap in anyway if we keep it valid. This car you can play around with a little more on the entrance of the corner. I'm not feeling as unstable under braking. It's not as lethal as the Dallara at the moment, but I know it can be. Bear in mind as well with the graphics, I'm running on medium preset at the moment. The specs... Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, that's going to be a big snap. Okay, first time that it's gone. It was loose into the chicane on the first lap as well. On the out lap, I should say. So it seems to be looser into the chicane than elsewhere, so that's just to do with the weight transfer. But that time, I did not catch the snap. It felt almost mid-engined when it actually went. Anyway, let me try something. Let me try something. I'm going to go extreme, actually. So we're going to go to the HUD, which you can't see. I was going to move that as well, so we will do that. But right now, I'll just hide my camera. The HUD down the bottom left, if you go with your mouse... Oh, of course. Let's try that again. Once qualifying starts. Tell you what, right now I'll move the camera. That makes it easier. There we go. Nothing to see here. How's that going to be? I'll need to see when the game actually loads, if you can see the HUD. We'll give that a try anyway. But yes, it's very sensitive. It is very, very sensitive. I think this car around this track is just a brilliant combo for hot lapping and racing. It's a small enough circuit, and the car doesn't have a huge amount of power, so driving it on like a big open circuit like Red Bull Ring or Kota or something probably won't feel great in this car because it'll just feel a bit sluggish. As long as you've got lots of medium speed and high speed corners, I should say, coming up, the car really kind of gets into its element, let's say. Alright, we'll see if we can get a front row start then in this qualifying session. There's 12 of us in the server at the moment. You guys, of course, if you're on here, you can join as well. Right, practice is finished. One thing I've noticed as well, every time the session changes, so like there's a loading moment in the session, so you could be doing controller settings, for instance, and then as the session changes, you get a big force feedback spike where it just turns. And that is not great because, like, earlier when I was assigning controls and it jumped session, I had my hands on the wheel and suddenly I get a jolt of force feedback, which that sort of thing is... It sounds like nothing, but it's not the best when you're trying to, you know, when you're like, if you actually cause an injury to someone through something like that, with force feedback wheels can be dangerous. You can obviously easily get injured, but stuff like menus and things, you have to be careful because these bases are very strong. And that's also the issue when you get big glitches with games, when you have a sort of high power direct drive wheelbase, it can get a little bit sketchy at times. Right, the face cam's going up a little more so you can see just a bit more of the HUD. There you go. You can see pretty much all of it now, so we'll go with that. Right, I was going to show you, you can actually select force feedback effects here. So you can see what I've got my gain on, the steering lock, dynamic damping. I'm just going to try setting that to 30%, and we're going to see how that feels. So you can actually change it on the go, which is a great feature. Changing FFB on the go is a game changer because it's so easy. It's very quick. It's not like you have to quit and go into menus and do all of that. You can just literally change it after a couple of corners and directly feel how the difference as it's happening, which is awesome. So with dynamic damping on now, let's see how it feels. Cold tires out the pits, but look at that. Straight away, I felt like I could kind of hold that slide through the corner. I'm hoping it just numbs out some of that snappiness. Now from memory, this was the car where I tried it at 100 and suddenly found it was better, so I don't think 100 is going to be the best because it is going to numb a lot of the details, I would imagine. And it'll just change. It felt horrible actually at 100 on the Ferrari F1 car, so there's a few things to still work out the sweet spot, but this was one of the cars that felt better with some dynamic damping, and I'm sure the Dallara will be the same. Just a case of getting the right amount. I've obviously made no setup tweaks here, so I've not done any sort of work on making the car faster or taking out any fuel or anything like that. Right, let's see what happens into the chicane. So braking, blipping on the downshifts, turn it in. Yep. So the steering's now working with me a little bit. When I start having a bit of a slide, I can feel the force feedback doing some work to stop it snapping the other way and basically helping me stay on track. Now that maybe sounds false. The reality is, in real life, when you start losing the back end, the feeling you get through the steering rack and the feeling you have of the tires underneath you is actually even easier to save a slide than the game. So even if the actual feeling itself of the force feedback doing things to try and help you a little bit when you lose the grip, even though that itself feels a little bit funny, it has a desired effect, let's say, of making it a little bit easier to catch a big slide. Don't rejoin there. Oof, that was close. It's a very difficult thing to try and explain, so I will at points be rambling and it might sound like utter nonsense. That is guaranteed. But I'll try and sort of share my strange brainwaves as they come through, just in case something tangible comes out of it. You need a little bit of a blip under braking in this car just to stabilize it. It's very, if you just hit the brake pedal and you don't blip or you don't have automatic blip on, you will find that the rear end gets very unstable and locks. Yeah, Tom knows. I've spent too long sliding cars like this around. Right, so very, very quick. Okay, so it's maybe set up a bit stiff. The way when you turn into that last chicane, the rear just starts to overtake you every time. So it's just a case of balancing it. But it's that bit easier now. Okay, into the first corner, on the power, understeer, a bit more understeer than I would want. You've got our delta on the top left, so you can see what the lap time is compared to my previous lap. Or best lap, probably. Someone said the skybox looks a bit like just a flat picture, and yeah, it does a little bit at the moment. But that's kind of what you expect, especially running on you know, medium graphics, you don't expect it to be the best, but it is, yeah, it's fairly static, but I don't mind the detail. The clouds look pretty nice. Oh, wow, big snap. That wasn't me trying to unbalance the car, that was the rear stepping out at me under braking. Don't know if I downshifted at that point, so I don't know if it was like a lock, the rears, or if it was just the balance shift. Right, turning a bit earlier for this first chicane. There we go, get the line better. It's funny, Thierry, I don't mind sliding the car around in real life. Like, I am, whenever I'm competing, like in the sprints and hill climbs, it's like, I do slide the car around more than most, but I'm rubbish at actual drifting. Like, if you put me in like a drift car, I have no technique. I do not know how to do it. I'm terrible. I just like sliding around in road cars, but yeah, it's not easy. Oh, there you go, that was a downshift imbalance, so I was able to catch it. I would not have caught, I'm very, very confident with 0% dynamic damping, that would have been me gone. I don't think I would have caught that. It's Lewis McGlade. Yeah, this is a fun combo. This is a fun combo. Come on. I need a little bit more front end would be nice, but we're on road tires, so I shouldn't expect it. It's not slicks. Big difference. Huge difference in reality between those two compounds. Like a road tire and a slick. Massive, massive grip difference. And heat difference as well. Welcome, Lewis, though. How are you getting on? It's been ages. Far too long. I don't know if you've got EVO or you've even got a rig set up at the moment. Stop understeering. Right, we're seeing some other cars. Let's keep the foot down, try and set some good laps, but also see what happens with the traffic without ruining anyone's quali lap. I know it's no stakes, it's just public lobbies, there's no ranking, it's just beta, but I don't want to be annoying other people too much if they're on a quali lap. But we're going to get a good run here on Nielsen. Car looks good. The movements look pretty natural. That's the downshift that caused the rear to go there. Let's keep the foot in it. Track limits seemed okay. Didn't get any pings. I don't know if I have got many pings for track limits, so that's something I still need to investigate, to how far you can push them. Try and use all the curbs. That's too deep. And there, that was the downshift. So basically, yeah. So if you downshift with this car, I'm bearing in mind I'm not using a manual clutch. I don't have a clutch pedal on right now, so I've gone with a kind of auto clutch. The timing of the downshift, it does take a little minute to come in, so that's why you need to time a blip with a throttle. So if you're left foot braking and you're using auto clutch and all these things, you just need to, just after you've downshifted, just give it a second and then give a blip. And you'll obviously get, that timing is something you get used to. I've got loads of traffic here, so let's just stay out of the way. But if you don't do that, you get that rear locking, and it's very, very difficult from that point on to actually save the car, because everything's unbalanced. Oh, and I've been across the grass. Now listen to this. And it stops. So you've got a kind of, you've got the grass and the dirt. That sounded like you've been through a gravel trap and the gravel's rattling around the car. That is very realistic. There it was a bit strange because I was just over the grass. Oh. Yep. Well, that's first collision witnessed. Oh, he's got an R12 on his desk. Nice one, Lewis. Yeah, going over the grass, you shouldn't have that sort of rattling, but if that's like picking up foliage, picking up gravel, that is a realistic sound. It's very, very loud in the cockpit. But with this Caterham, obviously, you've not got a cockpit, you've got roll bars, but you still hear that rattling around against the metal. Ooh. Yeah, solid and loose grass. Yeah, exactly. Rocks, grass made of rocks and painted green. Are you in the session, LDS Chronicles? I don't know if that was you apologising to me for a mirror thing, or if that's a comment about something else. But if it is, welcome. Hopefully we have a good race. And ooh, that's the rear again with a downshift. You could actually use that to your advantage if you're being really smart. But In real life, when you're downshifting a car like this, you're using the clutch and the downshifts anyway, so then you've got full control over that snap. You don't get the sudden jolt if you can time it properly or heel and toe, which I tend to not do. I tend to just go for timing. Frame rate's not spot on. You'll probably notice, and it's different maybe on the stream to the actual game. Maybe it's generally less smooth, but you'll notice at certain points I'm dropping to like what feels like 40 frames just through a couple of corners. It's not perfect, and I don't know why that is, to be honest, because it's happening when I'm on my own, it's happening at some tracks more than others, and I'm on medium preset with reasonable specs, so I'm not quite right yet. I think we're on pole. Right, I want to try this. So braking, if I don't blip, third. That. So see that? So that was the first time I've done braking without blipping, and that's what happens. And you could instantly see the car just move, imbalance straight away, rear's locked. You need to match the revs. So there you go. Right. Qualifying's over. We're on pole. What else do we need to think about here? I'm trying to think of all the things that you might want to know that I can actually test in this. Oh, look at that. Right, we're on for a good race. We've only got 1/100th of a second between me and second on the grid. And they gained it all in Sector 2. I gained it Sector 1, and we were almost the same in Sector 3. So I think it's going to be a great battle. We've actually got top 4 within 8/10ths, so there could be multiple cars here in a battle. LD is in this session. Awesome. So you're 6 on the grid. Good luck in the race. And we've got Ed ZGT5 in as well in the chat and in the race. Awesome. Great to have you guys in both. And yeah, hopefully we'll have a good race. You're only, what, 7/10ths off? So we're pretty close at the top. Should be a lot of fun. I'll try not and do anything stupid, but as you saw, if you saw the last race, no guarantees. Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? It's just all about the sound and stuff. Cheers, good luck to you too. Good luck. If I click back, does it just take me to the menu? Yeah, it does. Okay, that's fine. So, 12-minute race, but we've got lots of people at the same speed. Hopefully we don't pick up any damage or anything and have a crash early on. I will do my best. I don't know if I'll speed off. I'm maybe taking it a bit easy. Ben Baboon looks very, very fast as well. Setup-wise, you've got pressure, toe camber, and all that stuff that just needs a lot more playing around with. On this car, you've got no electronics. You can't actually change the fuel. You can only change the brake bias. Now, apparently I've been disconnected from the server. Top right, disconnected from server. I think that... We're still here, though. Oh, dear. Oh, I was looking forward to that race. And I don't know if that's a me issue, or if that is the leave and rejoin. Alright, good point. Yeah, you can do that, can't you? Hopefully you're still in the race, Ed, and it was just on my end. Quick. Donington, where is it? Need to find the race again. Oh, there's so many servers. Donington, Caterham, that's hot lapping. Can we search by busy servers, maybe? No. Not at the top. Brands Hatch, Suzuka. I'm just looking at the tracks to find the server quickly. Caterham race. No, no one's in that one. Oh no. Hopefully there's still a race going on, but I think I've lost it. There's so many servers. Ah, what a shame. Yeah. You're still in, alright, okay. So some people disconnected, some not. So that's something to bear in mind. We'll sort by players, that's probably the best way to do it. But yeah, I'm not seeing any Donington server with lots of players in it. No. Yeah, what a shame. Okay, so... Yeah, server's dead. Alright, that's a shame. I was really looking forward to that. A Caterham at Donington with a good group of people at the front, similar pace. It was going to be our first proper test. Let's do. Yeah, I want to do a Caterham race, so let's just see if we can find another one. Do you want to start? We can maybe start one. Maybe if three of us join one of them, get some numbers. Qualifying at Brands is fully busy. There is a race at Brands right now, and then you've got the SimGrid, Hot Lap, and race ones. I would do Donington, but I don't want to go through a whole other practice and qualifying. I think we can try the Brands one. That's in qualifying, but it's full. So it's going to be tricky to get in. Unless you join just as someone leaves. Okay, well, I've managed to get in. Hopefully you guys can get in. I'm trying to join so it's basically the Brands Hatch qualifying session in the Caterham Academy. It seemed full when I joined it, but it worked. So maybe try and join that one if you guys want to join me. I am the 16th member. Oh, we're 3 laps into the race, so that's pointless. Okay, ignore me. Let's find one in qualifying. Ooh, hey, Leonida? Hello. How are you getting on? AC EVO is treating me... mixed. Mixed so far. But we're only 2 sessions in, so... See if there's a Caterham session that we can get that's relevant. They're all in the races, unfortunately. The SimGrid one's still in practice. I'm going to join the SimGrid one just to see how long, but I think as a hot lapping one, so I don't think that'll be a race one. Yeah, it's treating me mixed in that the netcode and the online stuff looks like it works, which is a good start. It's not perfect. There's a bit of floating around. There's a bit of kind of simplifiedness to the car movements. You get those, when you can just tell when a car's moving around more than it should. Some of you can't blame it all on the game. It's going to be internet related, but obviously it's a game's job to try and portray it as well as it can. And that doesn't happen in every game, but it is better than other games out there for sure. I think you can definitely have a race on this game. We haven't had contact yet, but I have had contact in a separate test with Tom, and I've seen contact, and it looks like the contact is, again, it's almost like a simplified bump. It doesn't feel like a natural contact like you would get on these other sims I keep referring to. It's not quite there, but again, there are many worse sims out there for online contact where you just get pinged off and it's all over the place. It looks like it's a sort of simplified nudge, and you can see the camera shake, and the way the cars move is, yeah, it feels like early access. It feels like a first iteration of something. But the building blocks are working, so hopefully they can improve on it, but yeah. What's this, week 1 of online? It's actually the other things that I have more of a question mark over with this update, to be honest. In that we've had changes to the physics, changes to the force feedback, and I'm not convinced that the game feels better than it did. Right, we're going to try something else. We'll come back and do Caterhams later because I'm not seeing a server that suits right now. So let's just search by players and let's pick something that's in a qualifying session. Cayman GT4 at Suzuka, 15 people? Yeah, let's try that. I've not driven the GT4. See if we can get in. It's almost full. Great that there's so many busy servers, even in this kind of public, early stages of public open beta rather than it being rolled out to everyone that's playing the game. It looks like there's many busy servers, so it's a good stress test. You can always jump into a session or a race with lots of people in it, so that's great. 2 minutes left to quali. Let's just go. Quick. So yes, the physics, I actually, the physics and the force feedback were not a big gripe of mine for AC EVO. I think with the road cars, it was one of the strongest foundations I've ever experienced in terms of how the cars actually felt, and they were natural to drive and all these things. I feel like hard to judge the physics, but it feels like the force feedback might have taken a change in direction that I'm not on board with yet, or I haven't quite worked out how to set up yet. Maybe if I get a better preset within my SimUcube software, the game settings and the game will come alive, but it's definitely on the preset I was using before that felt pretty good. It's just not quite there. Race cars for me were also one of my perennial, not complaints with the game, but the race cars for me didn't feel as good as, for instance, ACC or some other titles. I think the road cars were stronger, so that's something that I'm still going to have to learn with this new update to see how they feel. I thought it was the short version of Suzuka, but it looks like it's the full one. Yeah, first outlap in a GT4 car in this game though, so that'll be cool. Not driven the BMW GT3 yet either. Yeah, we don't have a video for that, Colton, and it's honestly, I'm still working it all out. I'm changing dynamic damping settings from car to car and finding mixed results. Oh, see that little jolt there? Car in front of me kind of slid from left to right. I mean, look at my ping. Top right. It was crazy high for a second there. I got 350 ping. And there it happened again. The car in front of me slid around. Well, I had 27 ping, now I've got 380 ping, so this server is a bit less stable for me than the previous servers. Maybe it's a different part of the world, but that's going to cause difficulties when racing, let's say. Yeah, this is the thing, right? I said this earlier with the force feedback, where it seems like a silly thing to talk about. You know, the jolts in the force feedback with glitches and menus and things are, they're just that, but they can actually hurt you. So yeah, if you have a big collision or something and the force feedback's very strong, it can really cause you damage, whether it's your fingers, your wrists, your hand, whatever it is. If you don't expect it and you catch it the wrong way, it can break something. So it's not kids' toys. So when you're trying something early access and it feels like you're doing like a developer version of a game, it can sometimes be a bit stressful and a bit risky. So I'm sorry to hear that. I hope it's not too bad, Colton. And that can happen in any... Oh my goodness, you saw that, right? That was like a jump scare. Yeah, let's hope that we don't get that happening with the car hitting us. My ping does seem a bit all over the place, so maybe this server isn't the best, but we're almost in a race, so I kind of want to just give it a try and see. With that caveat in mind, let's be fair. GT4 feeling okay so far, yeah, reasonable. Only done one outlap, so no deep analysis at this stage. Overheating the front left hugely, heading through the S's, so the updated thermal, what would you say? Updated, I don't know, thermal influence or whatever it is. They've updated the tyre temperatures, essentially. I'm trying to make that sound more complicated than it is. I've just blocked someone as well that I didn't know was there. My apologies. It's, you can see the temperature changing. It is a little bit more pronounced and a bit more detailed as well, so that's another part of a multi-phase approach to the tyre model, and it's become a little bit more advanced. So you will see bigger moments of overheating when you get things wrong, and tyre temps are more important throughout the whole corner. I could actually see headlights from the other side of the circuit there when I was driving up towards the Spoon corner. You can see the headlights on the left coming through the walls, I think, or at least the extended flow, which I don't know how realistic that is with all those walls in the way, but trust me, when you're racing in the dark in real life, the lights are insanely bright, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is exactly realistic, and if that's the case, it's a pretty cool detail. You can tell where your opponent is on the other side of the track based on when you go past their lights, essentially, which is cool. I can imagine during an endurance race that would be a pretty fun way of tracking your progress against someone else. GT4 feels a bit more kind of, it's got a more solid baseline, let's say, in terms of how it feels out of the box. It feels like it's set up quite safe, but handling-wise and stuff, I had no real issues there with that first lap. It was, ooh, the car's not super aggressive. I didn't make any big mistakes. That doesn't count. Feels a little bit docile, feels a little bit lazy, so maybe you can do some stuff to the setup there. Oh, is that Aiden? Oh, it's Johnny Millward. I thought Aiden was in the server with me for a second. Pings are all over the place. Like everyone's ping is all over the place here. I don't know if that's, so I don't think it's a me issue. I think it's where the server is potentially versus the people that are in the server. We've got Tiago Monteiro here. Ed's made it in. Hey, Ed. You're in the server. Good stuff. I'm glad it didn't badly damage your wrist to the point where you're fine. That's good, Colton. Hey, GTX Forza. Welcome. Good to see you again. Pushbot's back. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Normally, I still feel like the game's a long way away from being at a stage where you can give it like a final judgment. Of course, and lots of games are never reach a final judgment because they're all constantly updated. But I think this game is a very it feels like it's very early access. It still has that feel. It doesn't feel like a game that's almost transitioning towards a full title yet. It still very much feels like a sandbox early access title that has a lot of development still to be done, in my opinion. So I think my impression so far of the handling is that it has the potential to be the best sim for road car handling and for driving, and obviously it tries to be an all-rounder covering so many different cars. I think it's going to be really good for that diversity, but it's maybe not going to be the best in its class for each of the individual disciplines of racing cars. That's my opinion so far. And Assetto Corsa already did a very good job of the road cars and everything. I think with a lot of the actual road cars themselves, I actually prefer the feeling in this game to the vanilla Assetto Corsa, which you should do because it's a lot newer. But there's race cars that I actually prefer the feeling in Assetto Corsa too. But you have to remember that a lot of our opinions and general public's opinion on Assetto Corsa is dependent on mods and things that they've installed and downloaded, third-party software and force feedback and whatever it might be that change the way the game feels a bit. So you've got to remember when you're judging this game versus Assetto Corsa, are you judging it versus the authentic version from the developers, or are you judging it against mods where you can really customize things to your own extent? And will those things then become doable in Assetto Corsa EVO? So it's a very difficult thing to really analyze deeply. You've got to be open to all these different scenarios and be aware of all the different variables. How much fuel? I have no idea, Ed. It's a 12-minute race, and I haven't even looked, so I guess I'm going full tank. I mean, 12 minutes is not long, so it's putting us on 30 litres. 30 litres sounds good for 12 minutes. All right, let's do it. If I can get back in time. 8th on the grid, so we're right in the middle. Right, good test. Although I'm expecting, given the ping levels and what was happening in qualifying, it might be a bit tricky. Ooh, let's see. Oh, nice, Keegan. That's a throwback, that video. Got a jump starter ahead. Right, underway. Terrible start. Easy into turn 1. Looking alright so far, surprisingly, given the server situation. Oh, nope. Someone spun. Yeah, okay. So someone spun out in front. Big concertina, everyone's kind of all together, and I got the worst of it. I went, oh, wow. I'm scared to get through this. We're live. I've got a big damage though, so unfortunately the race is ruined, and it's not a big surprise that, given the situation there with the server, the race was going to be ruined early on. But I honestly, that initial incident, someone spun out in front. No idea why they were stationary, because it doesn't feel like a part of a track where you can hit something solid and stop. So I really don't know what happened there. But yeah. Oh, Tiago's here. Yeah, I saw your name in the server as well. Yeah, that's not good. I think that server though, Tiago, I would be careful with that because I think the server wasn't good. So maybe try a different server. I'm gonna quit because I've got a lot of damage. I'm gonna see the replay actually. I should probably. Can I return to the garage before I view the replay? Let's save it just in case. I don't want to be sat on the track. That's bad. Pit lane. Okay, replay. Let's see what on earth happened there. Oh no, so there was an incident up in front. So I think there was contact between these two at the front here. contact, and then you can actually change vehicle. So we can go... Here we are. So that's why there was a car stationary, I think, on the middle of the road. Yeah. And more contact with Rodriguez. Now, I want to see where I am in this. Which one's me? I can't even tell. This one? Yeah. See what happened there. The replay's struggling a little bit, but I think it's online. It's there's loads of cars, lots of lights. It's not perfect, medium graphics, but let's see what happens to me here. So I'm on the brakes hard, obviously. I hit the car in front, millward. I then get hit up the rear. I mean, I don't blame anyone in that situation. We're all just suddenly checking up. You don't expect a car to be stationary there. I then hit millward forward. Ah, okay. I was wondering why I went left. That's why I went left. I got rear-ended. So there was nothing too crazy there for me. Just concertina, boom, 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 contact, contact, boom, smash. All right. Let's try another server. Flappy NL. Really too early to say. But you asked it at this point, so you're not asking for any like overarching final. So where I'm at with both of these games, I've only played Project Motor Racing once, and it was the first time it was ever played in public in Zurich when we did that video. I had very, very little time on the game, so it was like a first impressions, a couple of laps in each car. I didn't really know how the handling worked, didn't know how it felt, and the force feedback on the wheels were very inconsistent between the different setups, so it was a really bad place to get an idea. But I felt some reasonable undertones to the handling and the physics where it felt pretty decent, but then there was some weird quirkiness to it, and it felt like it had some of the traits of Project Cars for me, with the way the car moved across the circuit and the way that the car behaved on the way into the corner, where you got understeer and then oversteer when you hit the accelerator. There was a few elements that I recognized, but it felt a long way away still. However, I haven't played it since then, but my colleague Tom has played it multiple times since then. He's played it at Goodwood, he played it I think somewhere else, and then he played it at Gamescom last week, and we made a video where he updated his thoughts, and he said it has improved since Zurich. And we thought it would, because the Zurich version was a very early build. They had a driver program in to try and dial out some of the weirdness to the physics. So in terms of the actual driving experience, my experience of PMR was, it's too early to judge, and I'm concerned about some things, but fundamentally it's going to be all right. It just depends on to what level and what you're after. Whereas now, because my colleagues have tried it and told me it's improved, I'm a bit more optimistic about it. Aside from that, though, the rest of the game, with PMR, we've got lots of announcements for cool things. The career mode looks really cool. The game looks great. All of these things. But we still haven't tried it, and we haven't seen those features working. We haven't seen AI. So AI could be terrible. The career mode might not work. Like, it's all based on assumptions and based on trailers and what we've been told. So very, very unfair to give a verdict on PMR at this point. It's going to be a case of it's going to be judged when it releases how it is, because they're not going through this early access release phase. They're obviously letting some people try it at certain events, and you can go and get a taste, but you're only trying a very small slice, and then when the game releases, everyone's going to give their opinions, and that's when it'll be judged. The problem with AC EVO is it still feels like a long way away from being a complete game, yet everyone's judging it and everyone's trying it. So we're all going through these issues and glitches together. We're all experiencing the pretty shoddy AI. We're all experiencing the graphical issues, the performance issues, the glitches, the FFB problems. We're all experiencing the changes that don't quite work. Trial and error, a lot of these things. You make a change, something works, it breaks something else, you try it again. Everyone's living through it with Assetto Corsa EVO. I think the issue is that it's been available now for, not a year, but over 6 months anyway. We're still a long way away from a finished game, but we're already sort of playing it and testing it quite regularly, and the marketing almost feels ahead of the actual state of the game, if that makes sense. So the way it was sold at the start feels a long way ahead of where we're at even now when we're able to test it. And it's totally down to opinion then. Are you comfortable and happy to spend 2 years stress testing the game in early access, or are you someone who'd rather they waited until it was at a better state and then released it to you, and you go, wow, there's pros and cons to both. they're getting a hell of a lot of feedback from all of this, from people all over the world, from all of you watching, from all of you playing, from content creators, from racing drivers. Everyone's trying AC EVO and giving opinions and giving feedback. It's whether they can actually harness that and get it into the game, get it all working. Is it too much information? Is it too much feedback? I've seen some people saying it's amazing, some saying it's terrible. Everyone's wheel seems to be different, or different experiences with FFB. So yeah, it's just it's chaos is what it feels like to me at the moment. It's chaos, and everyone cares so much because it's Assetto Corsa, because it's Kunos, because of what they've done before, because of what they've promised, and because of what we expect of them. They've got high expectations, or we've got high expectations of them as a sim racing community because they've delivered in the past very well. But there's a big pressure with this game, and if Assetto Corsa was this rough in early access, or Assetto Corsa Competizione was this rough, and I know it was rough early days, I think there was maybe less pressure on them, whereas now it's big pressure because of how they've delivered in the end. And I really hope that Assetto Corsa EVO becomes an amazing game, but we're just experiencing the development process, essentially. That was a big ramble. I'm so sorry. I hope you've not all left. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But I've had very good moments on Assetto Corsa EVO, which give me loads of hope. The very first time I played it was great, and that was against AI. It was just the battle I had with the AI at Imola and the Porsche Cup car when I was at Sim Racing Expo. With no practice, I was maybe a bit slower, and that helped, but the race was pretty good, and I really enjoyed it. I've also had great experiences throwing around the road cars. It's put a massive smile on my face. I love the wet weathers. It can be great. I think that me and Tom battling in those old homologation specials and the video I did on Monday was really good fun. So yeah, I've absolutely not gone against or going against AC EVO as an overall project and what I hope it becomes. It's just not there yet. And yeah, if they're giving it to you now and you're able to try it and you're able to give feedback, you're allowed to say it's not there yet. People are allowed to have complaints and be unhappy. So let's just hope that they do keep improving it and it works out. I would have liked to have seen a few more improvements from this point, maybe with the way it, either features or the way it feels, or just the general overall presentation, because it still feels, as I say, early access. It feels like a 0.1 almost still. Let's see what servers have people in them. Let's do some driving. Okay, so we've got big 24 car servers. I don't think that's right. It shouldn't have 24 cars. I'm not going to join them because I think they'll be broken. I might be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. We've got qualifying in GT3, GT2 at Spa. That could be fun. Should we go GT3 BMW at Spa? See how that feels? It's a Milan server. Tabs is here for the rambles. I'm glad. I think you definitely need them sometimes, especially because I'm streaming and I'm trying to race. It's also difficult to try and answer all the questions, give thoughts, test the racing, talk about, do everything at once. Just because there's so much to unpack. There's so much to unpack. So sometimes you just need to take a breath and have a ramble. Yeah, Tiago, you're absolutely right. There's a huge amount of qualifying's almost over, so we're going to be going in completely blind to this race. There is a lot of disconnection's a good one. Separation is great. You just missed one massive ramble, Thierry. Don't worry, a big ramble about Project Motor Racing and Assetto Corsa EVO. Yeah, it's just really divided, I think, is the thing. Assetto Corsa EVO and the community, very, very divided. Somewhere between, the good stuff is really good and it's early access, so they're going to fix the bad stuff. And then people that focus on just the bad stuff and say, well, this is a mess and it's still a mess, so why is it not better yet? That's kind of your two extremes, and there doesn't, there's a lack of discourse about the middle ground and the compromise. But that's how the internet works, right? People get frustrated and have opinions, and generally the people that have the strongest opinions, one way or the other, will share them the most or be most passionate about them, maybe. And the common ground, or the kind of, I don't know what the word is, but they're somewhere in the middle with all of these things, unless something is just terrible or great. And Although that happens in sim racing, a lot of the time it's there are compromises and things. There is no perfect sim out there. And everyone's of different opinions as well. Right, 220.0 is pole, so that's a pretty solid GT3 lap timer in Spa. It looks like everyone other than Luca is in the Maserati, so it's going to be one GT2 Maserati versus 15 GT3 BMWs. This will literally be my first lap. It's the race server at Spa, Ed. I'm not sure you're going to get in time. Qualifying's just finished. It's a... I think it's... I can't remember what the server's called. But it's basically one of the full ones. I think there's 16 in at the moment. And it's a Spa race about to start. 40 seconds to join. But there are 16 names in here. Hopefully someone leaves Ed. Why is the camera angle changed? Oh, it's loading in. The car's not loaded, that's why. Okay. It's all very quiet while we wait for players to ready up. Yeah, it's GT2. That's a good... Yeah, Tiago's got the name. GT3, GT2. It's still full, though, so... I'll get back to the Caterhams at some point, Ed, because I need to do a Caterham race. Let's see if we can actually survive a lap in this one. Yeah, me too, Zaplod. Me too. I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that game. If it's a well-rounded game and it feels, you know, complete, with the career mode and the features and the cars that are involved, regardless of how the final physics turn out, it's going to be good fun. Oh, okay, cars on the right did something very weird. A little bit of strange behavior with... Well, that one's ruined. There was a bit of strange behavior with the thief towards the front. And the way that car moved around. There was strange behavior with the cars on the right off the line. And then obviously into turn one, someone decided to just Leroy Jenkins it. We've got to crash it. Eau Rouge. Crash it. Sorry. Yeah. Crash it Radion. We've got quite big damage, but I'm going to keep driving just in case we can still have a bit of a race. I don't really know... Oh, that's weird car behavior. Yeah, so my ping is very high again. So again, this server not the best for me, at least. Don't know how everyone else is. That there, with Sweden, I bet you... The way that car moved, I bet you on their screen I just spun them around. And as you can see on my screen, I definitely didn't. But the way the car behaved, it looked like they were being spun by someone that wasn't there. Oh, hello? There's a DeLorean. Okay, so if you're in a server and you've got high ping or you're in an unstable server, whatever the reason might be, it doesn't work yet. Like, I have never in my life, if we're going to make comparisons to recent things, never in my life have I experienced like a Le Mans Ultimate race or server where other cars are doing anything like that. I've definitely experienced servers that have crashed before, don't get me wrong. I've experienced weird behaviors with an individual car. Never have I experienced a flying car or, you know, everything floating around and, yeah. My ping's not crazy. Ping's in the top right. It's like between 50 and 100. But I think the server's just, like, I don't think it's me, guys. I've been disconnected. I think it's just an issue with the server. One thing I learned there, from doing one lap in the BMW with damage and all of, you know, no fair way to judge it, I really liked the feel of the BMW there. The force feedback felt pretty solid. It kind of reminded me of ACC more than ever before. And I know it's not a fair comparison because I didn't, you know, I need to do a lot more. But first impression of the BMW M3 there was, yeah, felt kind of ACC-like in a good way. Now, bear in mind, you got disconnected as well. Okay, Ed got disconnected. I really don't think it's me, guys. Like, and we can say that, hey, I'm streaming, so my ping's going to be worse. There's reasons why it could be me in theory with some things, but I stream quite a lot these days on Traction, racing online, and it's always fine. Or 90% of the time, 95% of the time, it's absolutely fine. So I think it's a server issue. Again, there's a reason why they are rolling this out as a free public beta that you have to sign up for to test it, to make sure it works. So this isn't like... you can't just say multiplayer's not working properly, but there's clearly still big issues with the servers they need to iron out, or maybe just it's where the server is or something, I don't know. Right, Donington in the Caterhams is in practice. How long is that? Because I would love to do that again, but I don't necessarily want to do full 10 minutes of qualifying over again, because you've already seen that. Let's just see how long we've got to go in this one, then I can maybe set an alarm and we can join that one. If it's not full. Yeah, Paul, you're right. Stick to LMU for now. It's come and have a go at AC EVO to test it, to find some bugs, and to have the good odd battle and see how it could feel. But yeah, I mean, we've got 9 minutes of qualifying left here. I get there's a beta we're testing, but are they testing the beta testing? Yeah. I'm going to try something with this Caterham, actually. And I'm going to use this minute to play around with dynamic damping and just talk a little bit about how it's changing the feel. So I'm going to move this to 100. Oh, good one, Ross. Very good. At Paul's expense, but well done. Right, dynamic damping's at 100. I'm just going to talk you through how it's making me feel, because as I say, this was the one that spawned me to make my comment in that first video. That I'll backtrack on that comment because it could be taken out of context when I said, oh, it seems to be 100% dynamic damping's what feels best when it shouldn't really feel best. Now, that was just in that moment in this car, it fixed the problem I was having. But as I say, after that, doing that video, trying other things, it definitely didn't work in other cars, and that's what I was expecting. I did not expect 100% dynamic damping to be the setting to go for. So I'm going to try it again in this Caterham just to see how it feels, but it just kind of... damping normally sort of muddies the water a little bit with force feedback. It takes away the edges, it makes it a little bit smoother, a little bit kind of heavy, and there's a bit more general rotation. Everything's a bit slower, it's less reactive. And I generally don't like that. I like to have a raw feedback, like a raw feeling. Now, 0% damping on other games, I tend to be quite happy because I feel like everything coming through the wheel is what I should be feeling, what the car's doing underneath me, even if it's, you lose a little bit of that sort of general weightiness that you might get. But, in this game, it feels like 0% is not right either. I think 0% makes it difficult to drive the car because... it's almost the force feedback's almost too reactive. Like here, seeing 100 there, again, big slide, and I have to catch it, but I can catch it. And in real life, that is more what it would be like if I was sliding that car and I was losing the rear. I should be able to catch it, but obviously in some situations, if I run out of talent, I'll spin. So I should be able to get it a bit sideways and kind of slide it around a bit. And with 100%, it was letting me do that, and it was making me feel more comfortable. But I think the compromise, the balance is somewhere in the middle at the moment. It's maybe somewhere like 30% if you want to have a one-size-fits-all setting. Performance there, I don't know if you can see, I'm not getting 60 FPS at the moment. I'm probably getting, I would say, maybe 40. See if I can bring up something on screen. And you won't be able to see this, so bear with me a second. I'm just going to bring up a frame rate monitor for at least me. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I can tell you what the frame rate is if you can't see it. Okay. Yeah, you can't, and I could change it so that you can, but I don't know if it'll... We could try. If this makes the performance worse for you, let me know in terms of how the game looks, because I'm changing my OBS settings so you can see the frame rate at the top left. So even there, that doesn't feel like 60, but it's saying 60. Interesting. Ah, okay. On the right is what you need to look at, so don't look at the one on the top left. 40 frames per second right now. GPU is at 90%, so it's GPU. That's really interesting. So I'm clearly at this stage, and again, my specs are in the PC specs are in the description. I seem to be dropping frames because my GPU is being pushed to the limits, essentially. But this was happening, guys, when I'm not streaming as well. So you can see now it's at 95%, but I'm getting 56 frames. That's fine. I can cope with that. I can drive normally with 56 frames. I might turn the one on the top left off, because you can just see on the right hand side of the screen, it's basically where the window would be on my right hand side. The number on the left is the frames. So it's been fine since the dip at the start. 52, as I say, it feels like it drops to 40 at times is what I was naturally feeling. So 45 now. 41. Feels smooth. Oh, can I save it? Yes. Thank you, dynamic damping. Yeah, so yeah, it basically matches exactly what I was saying. It does drop. I'm on medium graphic, a medium preset for graphics. I can't see any other cars on track, there's no rain. It happens on single player when I'm driving against no AI. So there's a fundamental thing here where even on, it doesn't matter what my graphics are on, it seems like my GPU's struggling for some reason. 37 frames now. I have had some issues in other games of late, performance issues, but I think. So basically, what I'm saying is I can't say for 100% with 100% certainty that is just a game issue, and it's not partially to do with something on my end and how old the graphics card is or whatever it is. But it's not. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, tabs as well. That's what I'm thinking. It feels too low. I am running 4K as well, guys, just to be clear. So that obviously means it's... Oh dear, that's terrible. Means it's using a lot. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get you away. I should just go back to pits anyway. We've done a qualifying lap. We're going to be mid-pack, but that's fine. We can test the AI. Back to pit lane, please. Okay. What I'll do then, I'll turn the... You know what? I'm going to turn the graphics to... I'll go back on the game to capture. No, I'll leave it for now. Leave it for now. I'm going to turn off the top left frame rate thing that's not giving you the right information, because that's just the overlay. And we'll leave it on, because I'm going to change the graphics to low and see if that fixes anything or helps anything. There's a few settings here. So do you have... Tab says, do you have game mode and hags turned off? What setting do you mean by that? I'm on single monitor, Frank. 4K single monitor. So yeah, it does mean it uses a bit more, but I am normally it's, you know, I can run okay on even when I'm streaming on like medium to high graphics presets with games. Not perfect. Oh yeah, okay. So I'll look into that, Hags. I'll definitely look into that. But I've probably looked into it in the past and I've just forgotten. Yeah, I don't think 128 gig of RAM is enough. So graphics presets, you've got very low, low, medium, high, and ultra. So we're gonna go with low and see if that helps. Stops the drop off. Ah. I shall look into it. Always appreciate the advice and suggestions for trying things. Right, this is taking its time. Here we go. Can we get on track before qualifying ends? Probably not. No, we can't. Ed's in the server. Yes, Tiago's in the server. Great. Awesome. Thanks for joining, guys. And hopefully I'll have a good race against you. I'm behind you on the grid. I didn't get a clean lap in there because I was playing around with graphic settings and stuff. Right, overtime and qualifying. Couple of minutes to go. Any other questions that you guys have that I have not answered? Let's see. Oh, no. Oh, Tiago. You're on for what, mid 123. That would have put you probably in the front row, or at least third. Ah, well. I should use the sequential, really. I keep forgetting I've got it set up, but I'll use the sequential for this car. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. Change the force feedback. It felt not quite as good on 100% as it shouldn't feel as good. But it was helping me save some slides. I think on 30 it still gives me enough to. It's just when it's on 0, there's a suddenness to it. There's an edge to it that doesn't feel natural at all at certain moments. But it feels natural until you reach the edge. It's just over certain bumps and the car steps out or something. It's like the steering just suddenly goes the other way when you wouldn't expect it. It doesn't. It's weird. I can't explain it. I don't want to keep going over and over and saying the same thing that's not quite making sense. Okay. I can't remember what time I did in qualifying earlier. Was it a 23 or a 22? Oh, no worries, Ed. It's all for fun. Thank you. No, sorry, I was going to say sorry myself in advance for any crashes. But the whole point of this is to test things out, to try things. I want to have a good race with someone. I want to battle someone closely, and it might end in a crash. It doesn't matter to me because it's about testing how it all feels. And listen, I know we've seen a couple of servers now that have been a massive mess, but this server seems very stable. It was the same earlier until it didn't work, so actually scrapped that. The race didn't even start. But when we were out in qualifying, the other cars seem stable. The ping looks very stable. So if this race actually goes ahead and works, we can test it. And, you know, a bit like the Dallara at Imola, the first race, that was fine. That worked okay. It wasn't perfect. It was fine. So I don't want to just judge it on solely the terrible ones where the server's all over the place. No worries, Tiago. Sorry for the other one as well. Hey, Terj, how are you getting on today? Thanks for the support. As always. Hit the like if you want me to... If you want to wish me luck to get through the first lap unscathed. Hit dislike if you want me to fly away and get disconnected. Yeah, I know, this is the thing. You got to be careful with the force feedback, right? And these wheels, I mean, this wheel right now is set to 100% in the profiler, but it's down at 70 on the in-game settings, or 75. So I am probably running like a good 12 newton meters of torque or something. So it's, yeah. Let's hope I survive. Let's hope my hands and wrists survive. Okay, this is further than we got last time. Don't want to jinx it. I'm going to click drive. Car loads in. Again, do you see that? The steering wheel, I don't know if you would have seen it on your screen, but the steering wheel jolted to the left as I click drive. Always does that. Which is not too harshly, like not in a kind of wrist breaking way, but it's just in a, you know, if you're leaning on it with your leg or something, it could be a bit sore. Clutching at straws. Yeah, that's it. Fresh cut flower. Also, hey, welcome along again. Great to see you as always. I think you're right. Like it doesn't seem to peak too high. It doesn't seem to want to break your wrist. Like I've not experienced that level yet. Especially in those transitions and stuff, the menus and things, but it still jolts quite heavily. Enough to hurt you maybe, but maybe not the extremes that you could experience with like 20 newton meters going straight through your wrist. Okay, you can see, so Tiago Monteiro on the right is in the chat. We'll hopefully have a good race. We've got Ed ZGT. I don't know how you go about pronouncing that, Ed. I'm so sorry if it's Ed's GT or Ed Z. I don't know. Either way, the two of them in the chat are also in this race. The two cars around me you can see, so hopefully we'll have a good battle. Ping looks good still. Yeah, T150, you're alright. Hey, Francesco. When you say the patch, do you mean the 0.3 update, or do you mean the patch to the update? I really want one good race. I want one decent, clean race throughout, where I stay on track and, okay, if I spin, fine, but just a good race. Here we go. Few wee jolts off the line, but amazing start from Tiago. Right, side by side with Ed. We've got another car in front of us though. Oh! Did I not leave enough room there, Ed? I'm so sorry. I thought I would just about leave enough, but we'll have to watch the replay later. Oh, and there's damage. Oh no, I don't have any damage. What is going on there? Right, that might have just been, let's not, I'm not going to judge that one until I watch the replay. Because there is a few little movements left and right that you can see. And we're trying to test it by running close, but I somehow don't have damage after that big crash. Can't really watch the replay till after the race as well, so I'm going to keep on going and hopefully we catch some people. Yeah, I've lowered it now to low graphics, and to be honest, it doesn't look much worse. The mirror's very low res, which is fair enough. But I can definitely, I mean, I'm not looking at this on low graphics thinking, oh wow, this looks terrible. It looks absolutely fine. And the FPS does seem higher than it was so far. I've not seen it drop to like 38 or 40, but we'll keep an eye on it. It might just be that I'm reaching that point. Oh, I forgot to blip. That's my bad. Saved it though. It might just be that the point where I'm reaching where I maybe need to look into graphics cards and stuff. But yeah, looks like it's more consistently at 60, or at least 55 to 60, which is absolutely fine. Let's see if it drops through old hairpin. 51, there's your biggest drop so far. 49. Trying to look at this while holding the Caterham is maybe not a good idea. 47. GPU's not running quite as high, like it's not reaching 95 like it was before. Right, we're catching up with Einar and Ed. Ed, I'm so sorry if that was my fault. I need to watch the replay to see if I squeezed you too much or if it was a server issue, because I thought there was going to be enough room, but I'm completely unknown. I don't know right now whether it was me, a misjudgment, or if it was the server or what it was, so I do apologise, but hopefully I can catch you up, but no damage, so we can still have a race. But I wanted to test close racing and contact, and we did it. 46 FPS for a split second, back up to 60 again, so yeah, it's still not perfect at all on low, but it does seem slightly better. When it does drop, it doesn't drop for as long, I don't think. Can I actually catch it? I've got 8 minutes to go. 2.8 seconds. Let's try not make any contact on the way through. I can test a little bit of the netcode again here, just to see. I'm running pretty close to the back of that car, but not touching, so it should be alright. We've got no radar, interestingly. It only comes on when I've got side by side there, not when I was right behind. But I guess if you're behind someone, you don't need the radar because you can see them, so maybe the radar is only focused on cars that you can't see, if that makes sense. And it would make sense. Thierry. Thierry, sometimes the sliding helps. Sometimes it helps. And I promise I'm just pushing. I'm not meaning to drift it around like a crazy person. But it is a tricky car, and you do have to get it moving to get the time out of it. 40 FPS through the chicane. So, yeah. It's less and less convinced that it's helped a lot. Yeah, Ed's moving around a lot there. Don't know if that's ping. I'm on 53 ping. Ed's ping is actually worse. So to be fair, that could explain the incident on the first lap. Ed's ping seems a little less consistent than everyone else's. You can see the bottom left. The little green, yellow and red bars beside each name, that's the ping. And mine is fully green, but Ed's is struggling a bit, so... Alright, let's battle. Yeah, gonna be tricky, I think. Too much movement. It's just not fully consistent with the left to right and the forward and backwards. It's like it's guessing where it is, but it can't quite transmit the data properly, so I'm convinced that's what happened. If I go right here, back out. No, accidentally changed out an extra gear. I didn't realise I did. Shocking through turn 1. Tiago's on the podium. Good luck. JJ, yes. Yes, if you go on... When you get the chance, as Ed drives through the bollard on my screen there. If you get the chance, if you type in John Monroe Racing on YouTube, you'll see my channel. And the most recent videos, the last season, I spent a lot of time competing in a Westfield, very similar to this, on road tyres, throwing it around. So, yes, you can see the onboards from that on my own personal YouTube channel. Obviously, Traction is also... Ooh. We have some real racing stuff on Traction from a few years ago, but it's not in cars like this. It was when I was doing MX-5s in endurance stuff. There we go. Got past Ed. Nice one, Ed. Good battle. Unfortunately, the ping was a bit all over the place, so it was difficult to really get stuck into an authentic battle. It felt a bit like I had to give you more space. Just in case. And that may well have been what caused the incident in the first lap. Most likely, in fact. Can I get away, though? It's not over. Oh. Terrible through turn 1 again. You can see Ed getting really close to the back of me there, onto the first corner. Good slipstream. Oh, Ed's got the run. Looking to the outside. I'm going to try and leave the room. Using the radar. That's working pretty well. There we go. Side by side for a couple of corners. Almost rubbing. I can't see him, but I can see him on the radar. We're going to go for the up and under. Nice. That was great. No issues there that I could see anyway. Ooh. Tried to leave a bit of room, but maybe I was a bit late. tried to carry as much speed as I could on exit, and I got the car sliding and just tried to use this. Did not work. Yay, Tiago's joining in. Nice one. I don't know if you went off, Tiago, or you've just waited for us, but your ping looks spot on, so I'm really intrigued to see if we can have a battle here. Just to see how it all looks. We're going to let... Oh, no. I've thrown it away. Well, if you were waiting for me, Tiago, you might have to wait a couple of extra seconds, because I've just thrown it away. 40 FPS, though. Again. And that's even when the GPU's not running as high, in terms of percentage on my kind of analytics that are running at the moment. Oh. Switch back. Nice. I'd love to know what you can see, Ed. I'd absolutely love to know how it's looking on your end. So you can tell me after. Ah, hey Tom. Welcome. Hope you're having a nice Friday. Right, shall we try and get a fast... Well, we've caught up with Tiago, so let's try and have a battle here, or get a fast lap, or both. We both have fully green ping, so this should be the best of what we've got at the moment, this battle. In theory. If I can stop doing that, and be a little bit more stable through the first corner. I'm trying to get the rear coming around a bit, just to give me the rotation, because it understeers naturally, but I'm just letting it go around too much. Oh, that's... Are you okay, Tiago? I hope you're okay. Oh dear, I literally just said, we've both got green ping, this should be the best of what's on offer. That was bad timing. Anyway. Oh, you'll see, if you didn't see, I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't have seen that on your end, Tiago. God, I hope not. Oh, he's off. You'll enjoy watching that back layer. The true definition of an undercut, that was. Alright, come on. Last lap. Let's try and set a good lap time. See how close we can get to the 22s. No, it's a bit hesitant. Not as good as it could be for sure. A couple of tenths. Anyway. 2 stabs at the throttle. Didn't get the apex, so it's not going to be the fast lap that I wanted at the end. I would like this car to be a little bit better on the way in, a little bit less understeery, but not as kind of snappy mid-corner when it unbalances. It's like it's got both extremes at the moment. It's either extreme understeer or it's gone. I want it somewhere more in the middle. It's not quite letting me use the throttle to play around with the rear enough. Can I showcase Spa at night? I don't know, it depends. We'll see if we can get that GT3 server working, but I think based on the servers, it's probably not going to. And also the fact that my FPS is low. I'll maybe try an AI race actually at night at Spa, so then you can see what that looks like. And then I can test the AI. JJ, I'm afraid not. No worries asking those questions, because maybe someone in the chat can help you. So I never apologize. Never on this stream ever apologize for asking what you feel like is a basic question, because there is no such thing as a bad question here. Unfortunately, I cannot give you a tip on that, because it depends on what element you mean, really. But I don't have a PSVR 2. My colleague Tom has played GT7 and PSVR 2, and we did a big video about it years ago. But I'm not sure what specific element you're struggling with. Yeah, you lost the rear under braking, right, Tiago? It snapped on you. Did it snap left instead of right because you were trying to balance the car? Wait until you see what happened down the Craner curves. You'll see it. If you don't see the stream back later, you'll definitely see it in a social clip. yeah, again, mixed on that server. We had clear issues with certain situations, but overall, I still had a fun race. It wouldn't be good enough for me at this early stage to be like a sim racing league race, let's say. Oh, nice one, Ed. Sorry about the first lap. So I don't know if that... I think it might have been ping related. You'll see the stream later what happened. I'm going to watch the replay. But then when I was racing you later, your ping, and you can see it there, your ping is like yellow-red compared to everyone else's green. So I don't know if you kind of moved into me with the ping or if I didn't leave enough space. But at the time, I thought I left enough space. So, but I got no damage or anything, so I just wanted to apologize if I'd done something wrong. But let's see. Let's see. No, I think it's ping related. So here we are. Oh, maybe not. It's hard to tell. Very hard to tell. But this might not have been exactly what you were seeing on yours. Because, like, see, I don't know. Very difficult to know. But I don't know if the replay will show the flying. Let's see. So when we caught Tiago, which was after this, I think. That was me losing it and then saving it. Let's see if the replay has the flying. So Tiago, you can see what happened. Yeah, the rev matching is tricky. Right, let's see how this looks in replay, because then we'll know if the replay is representative of what we saw on screen. Right, let's see. Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought, Ed. I definitely think it was ping. Yeah, look. Oh dear. It's very funny. It's amusing me. How does that look from Tiago's POV? I'm intrigued. Yeah, you saw it as well. All right, interesting, because his ping was perfect. There's a soft setup, and then there's that. Oh, well. Ben won. Well done, Ben. He was also the one who was alongside me in the front row when we did the qualifying run before. So at least we got our Caterham race in, and I was battling against both of you who are watching, so that's awesome, and hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, it was great, Ed. It was great. It was hard, though, because of the ping. You were moving around a little bit, and it made it very difficult. We couldn't have a fully natural battle, but it was good enough that we could still swap positions and trade paint and battle without being thrown away. But we definitely couldn't have like I would say like a sim racing level of battle, like a ranked race level of battle. It wasn't quite good enough for that, but it was good enough for a fun little race. That's how I would put it. I thought you'd be on the ground on your screen, Tiago. But your ping looked perfect throughout the whole thing. So I've seen it on other servers, so I don't think it's a you issue with the test router. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Oh, nice one. You're getting Wi-Fi soon. Are you getting an updated Wi-Fi? Are you on? Are you on like a 4G connection or something just now? Because that would potentially explain the ping. It's not that simple though. Caterham at Brands in qualifying. Should we try another one? This is another Kunos Caterham server. I really enjoyed that little race, and this has got 14 people in it, so maybe we try another one. There's also... Oh, there's F2004 one on. Oh, you're on 4G. I think you actually said that earlier, potentially. Or maybe that was another message about something else. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Guys, what do you think? Should we try another Caterham race at Brands and see if we can... I mean, it's enjoyable, and just test the ping and everything. Oh, it's just started. Yeah, race has already started. Alright, well that might settle the idea. Maybe we do the F2004 because we've not driven that yet. It's going to be chaos, but we can see what happens. There are loads of servers today, Road to Racer. Like tons of servers. Look at this. All of these, most of them obviously are empty, but there's a lot that have people in them, which is great. Yeah, F2004. I want to join. We haven't done that yet. Most of the servers are revolving around the new cars as well. But not all of them. Is it this one? Qualifying, this one. Suzuka F2004 Milan. Let's try it. Into the Ferrari, which is possibly the weirdest one of them all. Because I'd say it's the car that of the update cars, it's the most interesting and exciting simply because, first of all, it's an amazing F1 car, but also just because it's so different to what they had before, and it's the first example of a single-seater. So I think this was probably the car that most people were excited about. And so we've got a comment there from was in the Inaka. I did a few laps around Span the Ferrari, and it's that sort of thing that gives me hope for the full release. So much fun. Right. I agree. And my first impression was, oh yeah, this sounds amazing. It's an F1 car. It feels great. Lots of grip. I think my game's crashed. But there's a but. When I started playing around with the force feedback settings that worked for other cars, I felt that they didn't work for the Ferrari. Now, when I initially tried the Ferrari, I didn't think it was too bad, but there was a strange effect. I was telling Tom about this as well. There was a strange effect where when I turned into a corner sometimes, it felt as if the feedback was like, at a certain moment on the turn-in, it was unnaturally helping me into the corner. It was a strange sort of surge that felt like the force feedback was leading the car rather than the car leading the force feedback. I do not know the technical information there. I cannot pinpoint what it was. Unfortunately, guys, my game has crashed, so we're gonna have to try again. I couldn't pinpoint what it was, but it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't quite right, and I thought, oh, force feedback settings are the issue. So then I tried it again later on with these settings that had worked for a different car, higher dynamic damping, and it felt a lot worse. The dynamic damping at 100% really doesn't work for the Ferrari. And although it had its moments when the dynamic damping was lower where it felt really quite good, overall there are other titles with Formula 1 cars that just feel a bit better. Now, I couldn't pinpoint whether that was an update thing with the physics and the force feedback or whether it was a car-specific thing, but I didn't get that same sensation in some of the other cars. I just got other strange sensations. So I'm not in a position to judge it yet, but I do think that it didn't feel quite right. Didn't feel quite right. But not terrible. I just think a game like this it's realism focused. It attracts sim racers who want a realistic. It's not for like a gateway situation. It's not a game that's accessible and it's for the sim racers, the hardcore sim racers. And I feel like Assetto Corsa's Formula 1 cars felt a little better in the force feedback department, but I haven't played around with it enough to give a final judgment on it. And obviously it's the first iteration, but I was like not fully happy. Right, I think we're back in. Qualifying for Suzuka is there. They're both Milan servers, so it shouldn't really matter which one I join. We'll join the one with the most people in it. Anyone who's on the stream wants to join, I'm joining the one with 12 people in at the moment. That's in qualifying at Suzuka. But I think there's 2 in qualifying at Suzuka, so if it changes, we'll be able to sort that. 10 out of 16 people at the moment. Oh, it's closed. Alright, ignore. Abandon. Right, there's an MX-5. Ooh, MX-5 Red Bull Ring. Red Bull Ring National MX-5. So let's do that. We'll get to the Formula 1 car. We will do a Formula 1 race. I want to grab the races while I can. So if we're in qualifying and it's in a busy server and it's something I haven't tried, let's do it. It's nighttime as well. I also said I would test the nighttime Spa GT3 stuff, so I will look into that too. Oh, JJ's retracted. I was about to read your messages, JJ, there, but I see they're gone for some reason. Sorry about that, I missed them. Okay, perfect. We're going straight into the race. No practice at all. Back of the grid. Pings look, at the moment, fairly consistent. So, another chance to deliver. Tiago's in. Excellent. Right, Tiago, it's me and you at the back. We've got to try and work our way through. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so most of your time has been spent in ACC, so you don't have much experience. That's totally fair. So you will enjoy it. You will, and you have enjoyed it. You've literally said that at the start. So that's great. And I just think that, or what I would say to you is, I feel like there's more there. Unless you've got the perfect force feedback settings dialed in and you've unlocked something that I haven't found yet with the way the car feels. And I say force feedback, it could be a physics-led issue, not a force feedback issue. And then the force feedback is just translating the physics issue. I don't know. But I think I'm glad you're enjoying it, and there's more to go. Like, you will find there'll be other experiences which you will love. And don't get me wrong, it's still better than a lot of other Formula experiences that on other games that I don't feel are quite right. The likes of Race Room, and I love Race Room in many, many ways. The Formula experience for me isn't right, and it's better on ACC already with that car. But original Assetto Corsa felt a bit better than this one in terms of the feedback and the physics. iRacing Formula cars feel better. R Factor 2 Formula cars. So hopefully they can... But again, early access. So with that stuff, let's hope they improve that. And I've been disconnected from this server. So frustrating. So that's our third disconnection, or fourth disconnection, I'm going to say. Yeah, you got disconnected as well. All right. Maybe they're really pushing it, like testing as many servers, because there's so many servers running right now. Maybe that's the test right now. I'll see if there's an F1 race about to start. If there's not, I will try the offline spa thing just to give a little impression of the AI and try and do a lap in that BMW. Hey Jay, I'm doing great. How are you doing? Good to see you. Hope you've had a good few weeks. Imola practice, that's not what we want. Qualifying at Spa with 4 people. It's a hot lap server. So that's time attacks. That's all the SimGrid time attack ones. Yeah, no. Right, we're gonna go for an offline race, and by the time we come back, hopefully there's an F1 race we can do. So, first AI test of the new update. Open mind. We don't want qualifying. Can we turn off qualifying? Or we can just skip it probably. 10 laps is fine. Someone wanted to see nighttime at Spa, so we're going to do 10 o'clock. And we'll put the multiplier up so we can see a little bit of time progression as well. Let's do 48, why not? Start at 9. And we'll do 5 laps. Skill, we're going to put to the max. 99 to 100, that's fine. Or even, yeah, 98 to 100. We'll do 19 opponents, like a busy grid, but not too crazy. Single make, sure, because we'll all go in BMW GT3s. We'll skip qualifying. Good. Good to hear, Jay. How am I finding it? Yeah, there's a really important new feature here with multiplayer, but it's certainly not a finished article yet by any stretch, but this is just the test. So I feel like we're all collectively taking part in some beta testing is what's happening. Which is literally what's happening, to be fair. So that's why it's like giving judgments is a bit funny. And there are flickers of really good stuff, and also plenty of server issues and cars floating around and bad pings and all, and instability. So it's just a mixed bag, really. Again, I would say. But it's still not a game that you could sit and recommend to someone to start playing regularly. It's still a game that you dip in, you try, see how it feels, offer some feedback, maybe do some bug reports, and then leave for it to be improved more. That's how I feel with this game at the moment. And I think, big force feedback jolt again during the loading process. Oh, sorry, Tiago. I should have done quick race. I wasn't concentrating there. I know I've done race weekend instead of quick race. That's why there's qualifying. So it's fine. We'll start from the back. We can go next session. We'll do a last to first challenge. Sorry, JJ. I don't know if there's an issue with your messages coming through, but I don't know if it's you that's doing that or if it's something else, but it seems to be retracting the messages. So apologies if you're trying to leave messages and they're not staying. I don't know why. Some of them are working. Yeah. This is the thing. It's where you sit on that. It's where you sit on the early access thing. If you're happy for them to do their developing publicly and yeah, for the game to be still potentially, you know, a year away based on current progress, you know, a fair amount away from a final build. If you're happy to help them with that testing and do it and dip in and out, then that's absolutely fine, and that's completely valid, and that's obviously what it's designed to be. But obviously, is my job when I'm doing this is not to leave it and just, you know, ignore what's happening and then wait till it's fully released. It's my job, I guess, to test it and let you know the feedback and show you what's happening and talk about it, my opinions and feelings and all that. So it's everything I'm saying about this game. I'm aware that it's going to be a lot better still. Yeah. NY Vice, 100%. I'm in the same boat. I think they're ambitious. The dates were ambitious. The promises were very ambitious, being that far away from what I think is the reality is. We still haven't seen, obviously, the free roaming and stuff. And I think that you're absolutely right. That is what's left the sour taste. It's the expectation, and yeah, that's the main feeling here. We're actually middle of the grid in 10th, so we'll show you what Spa looks like at night. I think I've got automatic lights and stuff on. I'll just make sure, so I don't have to assign buttons for it. That is the wrong settings menu. Gameplay HUD. There we go. That's just replays. That is the same. Hang on. I don't think the assist's in here. No. Not sure. Anyway, I think we do, so it's fine. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Oh, cheers, Jay. Okay, so we're on low graphics as well, so performance should be decent. It's nighttime, so it's expected to be a bit worse. 33 FPS and towards turn 1 is not great. GPU's only at 68%, so it's not maxing out. Visually looking pretty good, even on for low graphics, I think it's looking pretty good. But I'm not even getting the FPS on this. AI's been okay so far, one corner in. Let's see if we can go side by side. Right, we've got the move done before... Oh. Breaking up the hill, that was a bit sketchy. But first lap, so fair enough. Still 36 FPS. Not great at all. PC specs are in the description, Turbo Edits. The FPS will rise, I'm sure, as we get further in here. It settles after the first lap normally, or the first half a lap. Nice sound on the lift off on the BMW. Sounds awesome. Cockpit looks nice. I mean, you can't see much of it, but I mean the dashboard and stuff all looks as you'd expect. The steering wheel's the real thing. The mirror quality is very low right now, or the screen quality at the bottom, just because I'm on low graphic preset trying to get some frames. Visibility is shocking, but it should be shocking, so that's fine. Okay, see, the AI breaking through there is not right. On 100% difficulty, you'd expect them to be lifting a bit, but... Unnatural braking. Dived on the inside there. He's going to jump out the way of me, and then we make contact. That was interesting. So he did jump. He saw me, jumped out the way. So he acknowledged my existence almost too much. But in a real life, I guess you might, if someone dives down the inside and you're not expecting it, you might turn out the corner like that. So still very low FPS. We're already up to 6th. We're going to be 5th in a second. Oh, so he lifted our brake there when we went side by side. It's down to 28 FPS, 26 FPS, 25 FPS. The AI car... Oh, that's strange oversteer. The AI car lifted when we were running side by side. We didn't make contact, I didn't think, but basically just backed out of it. Even though we were on a straight, so we didn't need to do that at all. Line seems okay through the chicane. Yeah, this is it. The performance is... It shouldn't be this low. It shouldn't be this low. I know it's dark. I know it's Spa, which is usually a resource-intensive circuit. The AI... Oh, okay. Well, I would have easily made the corner. I'm sorry for the contact, but... They were really slow in the braking. It's not using my GPU nearly as much as it was in the online session, so it's not the GPU. See what happens when the... Yeah, it could be, but I've used 4K resolution Tiago for 5 years with the gaming, so yes, it doesn't help the frame rate. It makes it a bit harder to get good frames, but yeah, 5 years of playing many different sims in 4K. All the videos we've done on Traction where possible are 4K, and I'm playing in 4K even if the video isn't. And I don't usually get 30 frames per second on a low preset on anything, so it's... Yeah, it's interesting. It's not as it should be. Ooh. It's not been this bad up before on AC EVO either. Like, it seems worse, but it's... I'm wondering if it's just the nighttime thing. Maybe it has been this bad in the rain and night in the past, and I wasn't testing it at that moment or looking at the numbers as much, because I am running with the overlay on, which I don't usually do unless I'm checking for FPS if something feels not right. I've got orange damage as well, so that I'm not going to be feeling exactly the car as I should. It's going to be a bit more understeery, and that's exactly how it feels right now. It feels like a BMW M4 that's lost a bit of downforce and a bit of grip. Yeah, I'll try that. I'll definitely try that. If I haven't already. I might have it already on. I do a lot of changes and playing around with things. It's sometimes hard to remember what. Jumping across lots of different games. There was again a weird step on the way into Blanchimont there. Strange step when I turned in where the car moved. Can't quite place it. Ah, okay, it doesn't feel like I've got 22 frames, to be fair. It dropped to 22 on my screen there, but it didn't feel like 22. The whole point of doing this, sorry, was to actually talk about the AI and look at how the game was actually looking at. I mean, that's way too easy. I feel like I'm actually running slower at the moment as well. Yeah, something's... Oh, I can't steer. Something's running funky there. I mean, honestly, visually speaking, so if we just ignore the performance for a minute, I'm on low graphics and it's looking absolutely fine. I think I like the way it's looking on the outside. I like the lights. I like the stands. The textures and the colors. It's quite kind of quite oversaturated, the colors. It's quite kind of gamey rather than photorealistic. And some games go the other way with that. I don't mind it. It's more of an opinion thing, right? So I have no complaints about that. And the nighttime stuff's looking quite good. The lighting looks good. The way and this is all on low. So if I mean, I can probably try it on high, right, and see what happens. I'm now into the lead, so I don't have any AI cars to worry about. I should be able to pause it. Let's just change some settings and see. I mean, if I go, let's just go ultra. It might just crash the game, actually. We'll start with high. No, sub 30 is ideal. You can drive on 30, but it's when you're taking it seriously and trying to do well and find every last half a second. It doesn't really work when it's too far below 50 or 55. Okay, we've gone high. Let's see how it looks now. Maybe this will fix the performance. I don't think I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get worse. Put it that way. That's cool. You can see the lights of the pit straight and the paddock and everything. That's real, exactly real. So first thing you notice when you drive around Spa in real life is you look up at that section of track and you're like, oh my goodness, there's the pit straight, there's the pit building, there's the run into the last... Like, you can see so much of the track from the other side of the track as the elevation changes. So I love that you've got the detail there of all the lights being on in that area of the track, and you can see them in the distance. That's very, very cool. Sky's looking pretty. We've got time acceleration on as well, so it will be changing lighting as we go. We're going to be coming into daylight at some point fairly soon, and you can see that happening now almost. Performance is no worse on high, so the issues lie elsewhere, I think. Nice colouring there. That's pretty. I like that. So if you're doing a Spa 24-hour race, we're ignoring the fact that the AI are on 100% and I've done no prep whatsoever, and I've crashed and I've got damage and I'm just driven past them all with ease. Like, it's still... I'm not in a position to test the AI yet properly because they're not quick enough, and when I'm going through them, they're still doing some slightly strange things. So I can't really say, you know, I can't give it a fair test really at the moment. Really doesn't want to turn through that first corner at all. It's like it's almost going slow motion. Yeah, it's not running right. Game's not running right. Oh dear. I think we've probably called it on that anyway. You've seen the nighttime. I'm having more issues with performance than I was having online, which is it's really strange. So, yeah. I will definitely look into the NVIDIA stuff, the smooth motion, the DLSS, all of these things. Like, you can play around with them, but shouldn't need it really for me. I wouldn't have thought. In game, I mean, obviously we can do all that stuff in NVIDIA out of game and everything. Shouldn't we've got the frame rate limit at 60 as well. The reason I've gone with the presets, guys, as well, I'm not playing around with these settings very much, is because the presets, we've been told as well that like, the presets are tested on, and that's why the presets are the way they are, because they've been tested, and that's a stable reference point, so you know how it works. If I go changing individual settings, I can obviously try upscaling and stuff. So upscaling, like we can try that. We can go DLSS. We've got performance, balanced, quality, ultra quality, and DLAA. So we can try something from there. We can try performance. Just I'm kind of curious to see what difference it makes. If I stick to high preset, right? Well, let's go balanced. Let's see what difference it makes. So we've deviated from obviously the graphics preset, but upscaling is something that, you know, you can often play around with in games, and it can make a difference. Let's just jump into exactly the same thing, right? Not touch any settings. Let's see what difference it makes. It works for you, Ed. That's good. Yeah. Okay, cool. Did you see that? Did you hear that? Just got clobbered by my steering wheel. It's annoying. No rush, Andrea. I don't think so. We're not there yet. Yeah. I'm gonna break my wrists. Right. Yeah, we can do that. Nope. We're transitioning. Well, it's I'm just curious, basically, to see what difference it makes. I don't know, Andrea. I don't know. Okay. Well, before we do anything else, before we turn off, I mean, hang on a second. Let's see. So we've just left everything. We've left everything on high. We've the graphics preset. All we've done is change the upscaling. We haven't turned off anything else. Let's just, without touching anything, let's just see. Let's just see what happens. That's warm up, that's why. Skip that session. Just keep away from the steering wheel. I was actually on low, Ed, but then I moved it to high and it didn't make it any worse. So I'm just curious to see what happens. So I will go to low as well. I was on medium for the first part of the stream. I went to low during the caterings at Donington because I had a low FPS just to see what difference it made, and it felt like it improved it slightly. Not a huge amount. Then did this test first on low and it was terrible. Changed it to high and it didn't make it any worse really, maybe slightly. So I'm just going to try it again on high without touching it, see how much of a difference the DLSS makes, basically. So far, not good. I'm on the front of the grid. Oh yeah, there's some weirdnesses. 30 FPS, and there's only, I mean, it's obviously loading in all of the cars, but there's only one car I can see there in front of me, the rest in the mirror. (32 FPS). Alright, let's see if the lead car goes too slow through Radio No Rouge here. Yeah, big break. Big break in the middle of the corner. (37 FPS). So I'm happy if you want, if you guys have suggestions for specific graphics settings, because the thing is, if we can find how to improve it big time, I'd rather share that information with everyone, right? So if you have specific settings that you want me to change and just to try, I'm not going to spend too long on it because we want to get into the Ferrari, do another online race, and we'll probably end it there. But if you have specific suggestions, please give me a shout. Just because if we can find a solution, maybe other people are having the same issues. Yeah, it should be better. I'm pretty sure it should be better. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, almost God Gaming. Yeah. That's not, I mean, it's barely enjoyable though, is it, at that? Okay. Yeah, we'll try some of these things. So let's do a bit of everything, right? Let's see what we can achieve if we try. Let's go performance mode, low graphics. Right, we could go lower, but we're just gonna go low. We'll do the other things manually. So we'll go performance, DLSS. That's fine. Disabling mirrors, yeah, that'll make a difference. So we could try that. Let's see how much of a difference it makes. So mirror mode, let's go with off. DLSS 4+ makes a big difference. All right. Is that passing to DLSS 4+? We've got the, I mean, that's obviously the AMD FSR3 stuff. So for DLSS, we've got DLAA ultra quality. So you mean in terms of outside of the game? I'm not an expert on DLSS stuff, so I need to multi-mirror. I've turned off mirrors. That's fine. Reflections and shadows. Reflection's already low at this. Shadow's low. We'll go very low. Alright, we're going to try this. No worries, Thierry. Thank you so much for joining as always. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a great weekend. Good luck in whatever racing you're doing. Sorry I span out so many times earlier. Right, let's try this as a final attempt of this offline race just to see what we can achieve. And then we will take it from there. We'll try and jump in a Ferrari race. Yeah, okay. Alright. Andrea, I will look into that. DLSS swapped from DLSS Swapper app. All right, I will do my research on that, but we're not going to do it right now. But that's great knowledge. The chat from this stream will be saved, so I can go back and refer to this at a later date. So all of this will be there. But at the end of the day, I don't need to find a fix right now because there's enough other problems that we're dealing with. Okay, we're gonna try a restart. It would be good though to be able to test it with 60 FPS without going, ow, done it again. Got my knee. Right. Pole position. We're giving it as good a chance. I mean, we could give it an even bigger chance, but we're giving it a very fair chance now. Oh, wheel spin. Barely moved off the line. Standing starts in GT3 is not the way to go. But we knew that. Okay, T1. 37 FPS. 35. Yep, barely improved, really. Slight improvement, feels a bit smoother. The information, guys, is in the description the description below. If you can access that, you can see the PC specs. They're all there. Yeah, he's okay. So interesting. Again, I pulled alongside. I don't know if you saw that on the radar. But as soon as I pulled alongside the other car there, they like backed out. They went, "Whoa! I'm not dealing with side by side," and they just lifted or braked on the straight. So there was no real attempt to defend the move. So yeah. The evidence points towards the AI updates still not fixing some of the fundamental issues that we've experienced over our various attempts with this game. So that's something at least learned from this. The performance is now a bit better. 48 FPS I'm getting in the dark at Spa. I'm not seeing anyone else on track now. I've got no lights. The mirrors are obviously switched off, and I'm getting 46 FPS. So it's I mean it's still not good, considering all the compromises we're going through, considering the specs and everything. But it's a bit more drivable, let's say. I'm not driving very well, but that's not really the point right now. 36 FPS through there. 24 FPS, didn't feel like it though. So, anyway, there you go. We've done a little bit of testing, so you guys can see what we've tried, and you can see the results there. More work to do. And plenty of things I can try, of course, but not great relative to some other titles. Rookit, I think I've not found the let's say FFB and physics combined, because it's difficult to split them fully at this early stage. But the cars that I've driven on both, in terms of the race cars, I slightly favour the feeling of ACC, even if the force feedback has a bit more detail in some areas of this game. I've felt more natural and comfortable in ACC, and it just feels a bit better. It feels a bit more realistic. However, ACC doesn't have road cars, and the road cars are the best part about this game for me. So that's something. Yeah, the AI, I didn't see them doing too many crazy bunnying things at Andrea, so that might be an area they've improved on. But I'm going to leave them to improve more before, because I can test if they're doing that on some of the combos that they did it on before. But there's more areas to improve on the AI before we can give it a fair test anyway, so we're not going to learn much. Right, come on, let's have some fun. Let's see if we can find a server with a Ferrari and try and end with a decent race, which at the moment feels like a kind of 50-50 thing. So Imola are in a practice session for 4 people. We've missed the race at Suzuka, unless I try and join it now and see if it's in the first lap or something. Because sometimes you can join just before the race starts, and it's fine. Or we just commit to the other one, because it's in practice, so we'll get a bit of running in around Imola. 5 people in it. Yeah, let's commit to this one. We'll see how long the sessions are. Interesting. Oh, it's a time attack one. Oh, no. Okay, yeah. Good spot. I hadn't even looked. Maybe it's Spa, yeah. Maybe it's Spa. Red Bull Ring, I found... I mean, it depends. I've not tested the other ones at night in that sort of setting. I've not had it that low. But I have found like Red Bull Ring was pretty poor just driving the Caterham around on its own, and that was before I played around with all the settings. Okay, Racing Club. So that's the race at Suzuka, so we've missed the boat on that one. That one is qualifying at Imola. Oh, it's the Dallara, that's why. Yeah, hot lap. Oh, okay. This is a race, SimGrid race at Imola, 0 people. Yes, that's all we've got for the F2004. Maybe what we'll do is jump in the race, and we'll see if we can get out on circuit against some other cars, even if we're a couple laps down, because it doesn't really, the result is completely irrelevant. Yes, Ed, the stream will definitely be available after I'm finished. So yeah, you can catch up with any bits you've missed if you tuned out for the races and stuff. Obviously, I'm not using the Formula wheel. I normally would use the Formula wheel in this car. Oh, listen to that. Oh, I've been disconnected. All right, I tried to join the race midway through, which I think you can do. I've done it before, but it's saying top right, disconnected from server, so that's not going to work. Oh, it's getting a bit frustrating now. I really wanted to find a Ferrari server. Right, maybe we if we can't find a Ferrari server that's got a good race, let's just search by players and let's just end on a high, maybe a Caterham race somewhere we haven't tried already. So let's see if there's any qualifying sessions on with busy servers, because that's what we're looking for. 126 out of 126 people in servers at the moment by the looks of it. You've got MX-5s that are in a race. Qualifying at Brands, 7 people. There we go. Kunos Caterham Club. We'll go with that one. Kunos Caterham Club at Brands. We've not done a race around Brands, so we'll jump back in the Caterham. Let's get in that race, because it's gonna. That's already a good number. So anyone wanting to join me for my last race of the stream, we're jumping in the Caterham Academy at Brands Hatch. Currently qualifying. About 9, 10 people in the server, so it should be good. Should be good. I don't blame you at all, NY Vice, because, yeah, it gets a bit, if you're constantly changing things around, it does get a bit grating eventually. My wheels are pretty good for that, so I don't mind. The main thing is having button assignments that work really well, allowing you to change. So like if you have presets and you can quickly throw on a different steering wheel and change the preset, then you're absolutely fine. The issue is, oh, let's get out on circuit. We've obviously still got our lower graphic settings and all these kind of things. I need to turn my mirrors on. Alright, let's get out of the way and not ruin someone else's lap. Right. What was, someone suggested a setting we can turn off. Since we've got DLSS on, there was a setting we could turn off without losing anything. I'm actually going to restart this, go back to medium, and then we'll stick to DLSS performance. Yeah, I actually, one thing I would say is I've a reasonable experience so far with the M4 GT3. It's felt pretty decent. It feels a bit safe on the default. I've not played around with settings, but yeah, it feels decent. That's one of the better cars, I would definitely say. In terms of, and when I say that, I mean that in terms of the race cars, like you guys know I love the road cars in this game. But yeah, the BMW felt good. I quite like the GT4 Porsche, similar sort of safe feeling, not not immediately out the box at the level I would enjoy an ACC driving it on there for sure. But it didn't feel unnatural, and that's the big thing for me at this stage. Right, get back into the Caterham, which is just probably the most fun we've had so far. Full tires, I think. They were green already. Interesting. Drive better, John. Drive better. So we need to get it back into the Caterham mode. So we've just been driving a few things that are a bit safer, a bit more downforce, a bit more grip. So let's get back into not dying mode. And we'll see if we can... We've got 6.5 minutes of qualifying, so we should get a few laps. I think it's the full GP layout, or is it the Indy? We're going to find out. No, it's the GP. Alright. Longer, but the better circuit, in my opinion. Ah, the server's closed. Sorry, Ed. Hopefully... Yeah, there's 16 people now, so I think we just... it filled up very quickly. Hopefully someone leaves. If I spot that someone leaves, I'll let you know. But I don't know if it will show up in the HUD for me or not. Sorry about that. Would have been good to do another race with you. Alright, let's... From this point on, I'm going to just try and take this... Like, obviously taking it seriously, but I mean more, I'm going to really just try and treat this like I was doing a last-minute league race or a ranked race, and really just aim for, you know, aim for a good result. Obviously keep the racing clean. I've got 5 minutes to learn the combo, so I'm not going to be up to pace, but I'll just try and treat this as if it was, you know, a proper race and see what result we can get, right? That's probably the best way to do it. Oh, nice. Hopefully you get an Ed. I've still not seen any changes yet. Performance seems to have improved a bit with this at the moment. Probably because I'm in daytime. Right. Okay, Paddock Hill Bend, we're going to need to get the hang of in this car. Because it's very, very easy to lose it. So I'm going to have to start a bit more cautious and stop trying to be a hero. I don't know what a fast time is around here. I'm just going to set it to gameplay only. I'm going to mute my mic for a minute and just let you focus in on the game sounds and the look of it, just without any of my talking for a little bit, just while I try and do a decent lap here. Perfect. $149. $149. All right. Good to have a target, Ed. Just, you know, learning my limits. I did actually beat the next lap, so we'll try again. I was just taking the mic. I lost it like an idiot. Well, my competitors have all been parting the seas in front of me there, so that made it, quite a clean lap. Obviously, with a bit of a hold up in the middle. So there you go, a little bit of a look at the game sounds without me yabbering over it and how the game looks at the moment. The FPS is better than it was, but still dropping at some points quite low. I can't remember Ed's time. Was it a 49? Oh, nice. Right, I've done a 49 as well. So there you go. Joined the 49 club. We've got a minute to go in qualifying, so we'll get our last lap in here. Ooh, bit of a lockup. The ping and everything, though, in this server looks great. It's actually me that's got yellow. Or did have. But all the other cars that I was overtaking there, the movements were all seeming pretty decent. Track limit warning, but don't know if that invalidates your lap or not in this. We're going to find out, I guess. That's the next test. So I got a warning for track limits. So the game acknowledges that I've cut the track there. But does it invalidate my lap or not? I didn't really gain much, tiny bit. Yeah, open beta, but you do have to know how to get to it. The reason they're doing that though is not just to try and make it awkward for the sake of it. It's deliberate awkwardness because they only want they basically want a reasonable number of people playing it first that really care about wanting to try it, and then they will, once they're happy, release it to everyone. So there's obviously the frustration there is there's content too, so it's kind of annoying to have to sign up to an open beta via an email just to get the new content for the game you've already bought. I get that, but you will get it eventually, and we're talking maybe a week, maybe 2, maybe 3, but hopefully a week if things are stable. That's a mixed answer at the moment, if things are stable or not. I think it totally depends on what server you're in. That's what I'm finding. Some servers are great, some aren't. It's going to be a much better lap though. Where's it going to put us on the grid? We're second at the moment, but we're going to gain 1.5 on this one, if it's valid. No. Okay, perfect. So it does invalidate your lap. I've done a 48.0, but it didn't count because I hit track limits. So that's as it should be in qualifying. Good news. Would it have put us on pole? Quite possibly. What fly, Tiago? Almost the same gloves. Might be trying out some new gloves on the channel at some point soon, so stay tuned. You might see some new gloves, but I'll talk about them. At some point. Oh wow, okay, so Kai has done a 46.9, so that's pole. That's a good lap. I did a 48.0, so he's well up the road. But let's see if we can stick with him. I've got a lot to learn with this car. If I try too hard to stick with him, I'll probably lose it until I learn a bit more. So it's going to be a mixed bag. 46.5 for Claudio, so we've got a few drivers really rigging the neck out of the Caterhams. We've got a minute to go until the race. Yeah, that's rapid. Yeah, so I can't even remember if I finished the point I was making. It's that time of the day, guys. It's deliberate that they're not rolling out to everyone just to test it with a certain number of people so that it doesn't overload it, and then they can, obviously, if they're happy, roll out to everyone. That's what I was going to say, and I may have finished it, I may have not. We've reached that stage. Yeah, there's lots of different gloves out there, but I've tried like karting gloves in the past. I've got these Sabelt gloves, which have been superb. There's lots of companies out there that do racing gloves. Sync Mesh. We've got we had the Traction Feel gloves as well. I need them because my skin's really sensitive. Like I get blisters on the inside of my thumbs, and when I do sim race, even with gloves on, sometimes I struggle with my skin with sim racing with any gloves. So I need them. And some people think it's ridiculous, but I think it also protects your steering wheel, and it's more hygienic, I guess. But yeah, I love these, but I don't have an affiliation or anything with anyone. Muradness, yeah, so Daniel Murad. There was a whole drama there, wasn't there, with some of the gloves, but I don't get involved in drama, so I don't know all the details and all the different sides, but I just know that it was a bit messy. Yeah, basic games, you've got to join the public beta to get multiplayer. So you've got to sign up for the newsletter to get your, or just find someone who's posted the access codes. I think there's some instructions here. Andrea's posted the instructions in this chat, so follow that chat and you should be able to get your instructions. And then enter a branch number in Steam, get access to 0.3, and then you can start racing multiplayer. Right, we're in our final race of the day. How long will it last? Let's see. 16 people. We're starting from the front portion of the grid. Did someone just... I thought I saw something in my mirror. Maybe I didn't. Leader's driven away. It's Kai Banks at the front, who seems rapid. Let's try and do the up and under here. Trust the contact. Yeah, that's pretty good. So ping's spot on there. That feels good. I was able to kind of run close to the back, but not worry about actually making contact. We're going to go for P2. Oh, very, very close to contact. Oh, gear change. Yeah, this has been good. Right, very strong first lap in terms of the racing. Probably the best of the video so far, for the closeness and the trust I have in it. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I just mistimed my blip there. Almost lost the back, but thankfully caught it. Ed's in fourth. Ed made it in. Awesome. Don't know if you're watching now or later, but didn't realise. That's great. Still need to learn my limits, of course, around here, what we can get away with track limits wise, and these front two are very rapid, so I will do my best to get faster as the race goes on. Oh, Claudio's just driving away. I can see him. I kept within the first half of the lap, no bother. Second half of the lap's where I'm not committed enough, I think. I think a lot of these servers, though, are rotating, so you get to stick to the same combos, which is good. So if you're playing this for a few days, you can really, really learn each combo. Because you know what's coming up. That's a horrible lockup. Track limits. Oh, I think Ed's made a mistake. There's a good battle though. Ed, oh, Tiago's in here as well. Amazing. So Ed, Tiago, and Luke battling for third, fourth, and fifth. Very, very close together. And I'm just struggling to hang on to Claudio. I'm doing my best, but hopefully we can learn in the process of trying to cling on how to actually get the most out of this car and the physics, because I'm still not there yet with it at all. I still feel myself learning how certain inputs affect the car's behaviour, and I feel like I'm a long, long way away from getting the most out of it. But the occasional corner gives you hope, basically. And then you do that. Then you do that. Oh, how many spins have I had today? Don't tell me the answer. Hey Ed, I just thought I'd wait up for you and Tiago, you know. No, I do want to try and set a decent lap here. But we might wait for that battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th and just have a bit of fun. That's what we're here for. See if we can set one good lap. As soon as you start pushing those, try and learn the limits, that's where you get the snaps, and it's so easy to get it wrong. And as soon as you know the limits, it's way easier to get it right, I mean, because as soon as you know the limits, you know where you're braking and you can still make the corner, you know the techniques. It's a different experience altogether. So when you're trying to find them during the race, you're not yet familiar with what's going to happen when you cross it a certain way. Not quite in enough there yet. No, missed the apex. Could feel the front just not quite wanting to bite. Ah, okay. Good to hear De Gea in terms of the gloves, because I don't know if I'm the only one that my skin is definitely soft, because it happens when I play guitar as well, with instruments that I've played in the past. I've always just been quite bad for that, so it's not necessarily that everyone's got the same issue as I do, but I know I won't be the only one who kind of relies on gloves for any kind of prolonged sim racing session, let's say. And still, as I say, get issues through the gloves no matter what gloves I'm wearing. Oh, that's where it's gonna snap, but you've got to catch it when the rear locks, basically. You've got to either rev match it better, or you've got to catch it when it goes. Lap times seem a lot slower now than they were in qualifying, which is really interesting. Or is that just... No, that's just the relative timer. Yeah, 48.0, so same as my invalid lap in qualifying. Right, anyway, we're going to wait for the guys behind. Because we're 6 seconds away from... 10 seconds. Oh no, there's been an incident. I was going to wait for Luke and Tiago. I'll wait for Tiago, because we're having a good race. And Tiago's in the stream, so... Right, I think Lewis is waiting as well. Right, there's Tiago behind me. Let's go. Ed's 3 seconds back as well, so might just hang on and wait for Ed, but I know Ed's struggling a bit more with ping, so that makes it maybe a little bit more difficult to have a good scrap. Oh, what a run. All looked okay there. I've got 35, 36 FPS, which is not making it super easy. But nice driving from Tiago on the outside. I'm now going to see if I can hold the outside line through here. There we go. Brake a bit early. Ooh. Just try and cut off the switchback, but I think Tiago's got the run. Leave the room. Yeah, good close side-by-side action and no real issues so far with this battle, other than ignore my performance for a second. And talking about the net code, the ping, the way the other car's behaving on track, it looks pretty good. Oh, almost Tiago. Thought you were gonna get me there. Get the crossover out of Paddock Hill, but I had to wait until the hairpin. Oh, well, that's going to be that snap. I just wanted to save it, didn't want to spin it. So we just take the position loss. Ed's only a second behind. Oh. He's letting me go. How much can you get away with the curbs here? Okay, so I think track limits wise, there's so much time to be gained from attacking these corners at Brands. So like, I don't know if it's gonna, let's see, but if I go really far to the inside here, yeah, no track limits warning, so there's definitely room on the inside of the curbs to use them a bit more, even if the bollards are kind of in the way. That one's a bit different because of the bumps. So lap time at Brands certainly can be found with some track limits checking, or some, you know, like learning where you can push it and where you can't. Alright, come on, we just try and do a 47. decent paddock hill, I'd say. Flashing lights behind me. Oh, we're pretty much matching our PB, so it's not maybe going to be the fastest lap. We've got traffic here. Oh, they're letting us go. Amazing. Thank you so much. Back marker. Oh, but I've missed the... That's so difficult. The car's just wanting to understeer out there. But we got away with it again. Let's cut a bit more of the track here. Not cut, but use more of the limits that are available to us without being... without the lap being invalidated is what I'm trying to say. Same here. Could have used more. Carried a bit more speed, but it's still better than our PB. Oh, too much grass, but we've half a second up. So yeah, we're finding pace. Kai's ended on a 47.3. Red flag's out for the end of the race, which is interesting. Those, you'd think it would show a checker flag, not a red flag. But we're gonna, there you go. We're gonna end with a decent time here. It's gonna be a 47. So maybe with a bit of practice, we could be up with the front guys there at Brands Hatch. 47.1 in the end on that last lap with a bit of room for improvement. So I'm happy with that. Ooh, I'll take it. And yeah, so again, the Caterham seems to be providing the best racing, I would say. But so much of it's not the car, so much of it's the server. Like you could see, for example, we had a couple of races there, the GT4 came in, and also the BMW at Spa, where the server was the real issue, not the car and track combo. So yeah, very, very difficult to... oh hey, right, we're going to do some... Can we turn the traction off? We've obviously got no traction. Can we do any donuts here with Thiago, maybe? No, my clutch isn't working. I've got auto clutch on, so that makes it a bit tricky. Yeah, so when you get in a good server and you actually get into a good race with some, you know, good ping and everything's stable, you can see the potentials there for multiplayer to be decent on AC EVO, even if it's not quite at the, you know, at the level of the top sims yet for netcode and the movements and stuff and collisions. The potential's there, it's simplified, but there are also lots of bugs. There are also lots of unstable servers at this stage, and they're testing everything, so it's fine. But yeah, we'll get there at some point, I would say. Just maybe not today. Maybe not today. How about version 0.4? Whenever that might appear. Oh, that was inevitable. I tried, Thiago. Guys, thank you so much for watching as always. It's been great. Ed, it's been good fun. To be fair, I didn't really see you much in that race, so you were just a second behind. So maybe I should have tested it. But thank you so much for joining the stream anyway, and thanks to everyone who's watched and contributed to the chat, and also not contributed to the chat, who's just sat there and enjoyed it. Yeah, good fun. Assetto Corsa EVO. You can see if you've watched the stream throughout, or even if you've dipped in and out, you'll get an impression that there are lots of little frustrations here and there. There are lots of things that creep up and frustrate me with it. But at the same time, when everything's clicking and when it's all working, it is an enjoyable experience. You can have a fun race. So it's basically the same as we've been, you know, for a long time. The difference being, multiplayer gives you a reason to play the game, which I think without multiplayer, when you're just hot lapping and racing against the AI, which are still clearly needing a lot of work, then there was nothing to bring you back. Now there's multiplayer racing, there is something to bring you back. So if anyone wants to get ahead of the curve, get very good at Assetto Corsa EVO before everyone else is playing it, you can jump on online races every day, you can be thrashing them out. There is no ranking system yet, it will be coming at some point in the next big update. Daily races, stuff like that. At the moment it's just public lobbies, but you can jump in, have fun, and that's grand. For me, it's not good enough and not stable enough for me to be playing this regularly. I'm still going to enjoy my sim racing more on a number of other titles before I enjoy it on Assetto Corsa EVO. Hopefully that's not the case in a year's time. Hopefully Assetto Corsa EVO accelerates and overtakes a lot of older sims as a go-to sim for people, because we all want more good sims out there that we can compete on. But yeah, still a lot more time to go. thanks so much. I'm glad you guys have all enjoyed it. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the WRC if you're watching that, and enjoy the Dutch Grand Prix if you're watching that. Enjoy your sim racing, whatever it is you're doing. Have a great time, and I'll catch you again next week. Bye.